were able to do that.
Yeah, Willie Green helped out the cause. I mean, some of his decision-making down the stretch and bringing in subs and bringing in Daniels, and Brevin Knight was on top of that on the broadcast. He goes, go right at him with Jackson. Boom, they go right at him with Jackson. I mean, it was just some questionable decisions on personnel that he had on the floor, but the Grizzlies certainly took advantage of it. But boy, oh boy, did we see vintage Marcus Smart in that second half. We haven't seen a lot of Marcus Smart in a Grizzlies uniform, and that was the first time we saw him with Ja Morant. And boy, did he come up big. I'm sure you stayed up, Zach, and watched that one as well. But my gosh, Marcus Smart, what he brings to the table. Don't look at points. Oh, he didn't score 25 points. That's not his game. He'll score, he'll hit threes, and he did hit a couple of big ones in the second half. But shut down defensively, did he do a good job or what?
Yeah, and that's pretty much what you expect from Marcus to come in, come with the team. Because you're expecting him to replace Dylan's role and to elevate his role. So, yeah, like I felt, I knew Russ was going to play a factor because, again, he missed like 15 games. But, I mean, once that second half kind of turned for him and he started to make some of the plays that he used to make out in Boston, then you kind of start to see, the puzzle pieces kind of, fall into place for the Grizzlies.
Yeah, he got into passing lanes. He disrupted things for the Pelicans. He took the charge from Zion, who was out of control. He made the strip steal and the bucket down at the other end and the bang. I mean, Marcus Smart came up big. And then Tripp, who missed the second free throw, we would not even be talking about overtime. It would have been a Grizzlies win. It would have been 0.4 seconds to go for New Orleans to get a shot off, which they could have gotten a shot off, but more than likely the Grizzlies would have won in regulation. He missed that second free throw, which sucked. But in overtime, he hit two big buckets. So you had that. You had Ja doing his thing. You had Smart. You had Dez. And the stars came through for Memphis.
Well, I mean, again, Marcus Smart, he makes winning plays.
Yes, he does.
And he doesn't have to take a million shots. He doesn't need the basketball that much. He can find his way offensively. He played with two unbelievable scorers and players in Boston, so he's used to not being the focal point on offense. But he makes plays. The steal he had on the inbound where he baited him basically and then came off his guy and stole it when they were trying to get it to Valanciunas. Just a fantastic play, just a smart play, no pun intended. But he's defensively, he is that guy. He could guard guys bigger than him because of his strength. But he is a hell of a defender. And when you need some offense, he can provide offense and he can knock down shots for you. So great to see him back and getting closer to getting all of the pieces that will be available this year out there together. Luke Kennard, hopefully here in the very near future, to add more shooting to this team, which they can use. But yeah, it's when you have, and I'm glad they put Smart right into the starting lineup because this to me needs to be your lineup, and we could worry about the center. Whoever plays center doesn't really matter, although it'd be nice to get something out of the center position and give Tillman credit last night with 5 block shots. That's not something you're ever expecting from Xavier Tillman to get 5 blocks, but Tillman, because of that, got most of the minutes down the stretch and he became the center. And I'm sure on a nightly basis that center position could change just based on who might be doing some things that night.
Yeah, I thought it was a nice combination. I thought X-Man played really well, especially down the stretch. Early on, Biyombo got some rebounds. Vince Williams came off the bench. He had been starting. He certainly contributed. So they held their own. They out-rebounded New Orleans 50-46. That's not an easy task. When you look at that New Orleans front line, and you have Jonas Valanciunas, you have Zion Williamson, you have Brandon Ingram, that's a big front line. And I thought Memphis did a really good job holding their own. And then, as I said, the stars shined. Ja, 31.7 assists. Dez, 27.7 assists. Tripp ended up with a double-double, 19 points, 10 rebounds. Smart goes for 13, gets you 5 steals. You mentioned X-Man with 5 blocks. So it was a total team effort. I know it's a cliche used in sports, but that was a team effort. They come from behind, another come-from-behind win. And you look at what they've done. In their last 10, they're 5-5, but they've won 4 straight, all since Ja's return. What's still crazy is when I look at the statistics and I look at the standings and I see that the Grizzlies are 8-8 away from home. 8-8. And think about all the games they missed. Ja, without Ja for 25 games. 8-8 away from home, 2-11 at home. That boggles the mind.
It is crazy, but hopefully there's a lot more home wins coming in the near future. That is for sure. The one that I was looking at numbers. I don't know what the deal is with the second quarter. They have to figure out this second quarter issue. Mm-hmm. I mean, this was before Ja got back. This is continuing since. It's actually gotten worse since Ja got back. I just don't understand why they are so terrible in the second quarter of games. There's no rhyme or reason, because again, it was bad with Ja, without Ja. It's bad with Ja. Like I don't know what's going on in the second quarter that makes them by far the worst second quarter team in the league.
Yeah, I didn't watch it specifically last night at the start of the second quarter, so I'm not sure if they staggered. How did they line up to start the second quarter, and how did they do it with Ja and Dez? And obviously you don't have Derrick Rose if you want to use him for a few minutes at point guard. What did they end up doing as far as staggering, especially at that point guard position?
I don't remember what they did last night. It's not like this has been a season-long thing. I think they've tried. It doesn't.
Yes, but Ja's only been back
playing
4 games.
I know, but it's gotten worse since Ja's been back. And Ja's playing in the second. It's not like, and again, even when he wasn't, they were terrible second quarter team. Like they have just, and they're not terrible. They're not that bad in every other quarter. Like they're great. The fourth quarter since Ja's been back has been like mind-blowingly good. Mm-hmm. The second quarter is mind-blowingly bad, but has been all season long. I mean, they are in the second quarter for the season. They are a minus 21.5 net rating. So that's 21 points per 100 possessions in the second quarter. They are down to the opponent. The next worst in the NBA is minus 12.6. So they're last by 9 points per 100 possessions in the second quarter for the season. In the last 4, this is their net rating in the 4 games since Ja's been back in the second quarter. They're a minus 48.
Well, it seems like off the top of my head that you would say the bench isn't good because the bench plays a lot of the second quarter. And starters usually don't start coming back in to about 5 minutes to go before halftime. Now, again, it depends on how he staggers his starters.
Again, I don't remember but generally what they've been doing since Ja's been back. Ja goes out midway through the first quarter. Desmond stays in, plays point. Then when they need to take Desmond out, Ja comes in, which usually is right at the either start of the second quarter. I think it's been the start of the second quarter. Sometimes even late in the first quarter. He comes back with like a minute to go. He goes through and plays into the second quarter. Desmond usually comes back in, I want to say, I can't remember exactly when Desmond comes back in, but that's generally been the rotation since Ja's been back. Ja usually starts the second quarter. And again, I don't remember what they did last night, but and then Desmond's resting, and then they usually come back, and I think those two usually play together again for a while, and then Ja will go out and Desmond finishes the quarter.
Well, whatever the case is, you have Ja playing with backups, or you have Dez playing with backups, and the bottom line is the Grizzlies' backups aren't that good. Now, we're talking about the depleted lineup of backups. When they're at full strength, it's a whole different world. When you have Luke Kennard, when you have Brandon Clark, right? It's different. Vince Williams has now asserted himself as a solid rotation player. But the only thing I can think of is, even though Santi's pretty good, there are times he has issues defensively. Zaire he's had a couple of moments. Roddy, who actually got back into playing time last night after some DNPs. There's just not a solid group of backups. That's all I could think of is why you get clobbered in the second quarter. The good news is it happens in the second quarter and not the fourth quarter. But you don't want it to happen at all. So that's something they obviously have to look at and probably are looking at.
The fourth quarter, last 4, since Ja's been back, they are a plus 36.6 net rating.
Wow.
They have an offensive rating in the fourth quarter in these 4 games of 141.8, which is by miles the best in the NBA in that. Their offensive rating in the second quarter is 84.7. So from the second quarter to the fourth quarter, comparing just those 2 quarters, They are 57 points better in the fourth quarter per 100 possessions.
It's amazing. But they step up. I mean, that's a positive way to look at things, right? They're stepping up in crunch time in fourth quarter when games are on the line. By the way, the Grizzlies with the win, now double-digit dubs as they go to 10-19. Right now, if you look at the up-to-date standings, they are 4.5 games behind Golden State for that 10th spot. That's the final spot of the play-in, right? 7, 8, 9, 10 are the play-in teams in each conference. So 4.5 games out with a long way to go gives you hope. And we talked about this road trip, that it was not going to be easy. They got the back-to-backs coming up with Denver and the Clippers. Boy, if they stole one of those two, you would be delighted. But that's why, as you said, the importance of last night's game to get one, and then you come back home after the 3-game road trip. You play a tough Sacramento team on Sunday before you get the Spurs on Tuesday at home. But yes, 4.5 out of the last play-in. And you always look at the teams you have to jump. Well, in between Golden State and Memphis right now is Phoenix and Utah. But again, we're only 30 games into the season here. Utah is not a great team, even though they have beaten the Grizzlies seemingly 30 times this year. And Phoenix is having all kinds of problems with the whole Bradley Beal injury situation with that big trio. But Golden State, with Draymond Green still out, have been mediocre. And then you look just ahead of them. Lakers are 16-15, very good team. And the Rockets, how long will they have sustainability power? They're 15-13. They're certainly a much improved team. And then the Pelicans are sitting in 7th right now at 17-14. Grizzlies have just beaten them twice in the last couple of weeks. So what I'm saying is it is not over. It is far from over. I think most people have that feeling now watching this team. I think the players themselves, they were just doing the best they could to buy their time before Ja's return. And there's just a rejuvenation with this team. You can hear it in their voices every time they step to the podium or Fish is interviewing them after the game. There's just this renewed enthusiasm about what they could possibly do, that the season is not lost.
Yeah, I think they always knew that once Ja got back, they were a different team and they would have that opportunity. They won a game where they went 11 for 46 from three-point range. Like, they had no business winning last night. They should have probably been blown out, but once they were down by 15, like, there's no way they should be able to come back. Hell, just at the very end of the game, when you're talking about being down by 1 with 0.4 seconds to go inbounding the basketball, that's a 99% win rate. But New Orleans defend, like, some of the decisions Willie Green made, some of the just stuff that some of the guys did out there was like just mind-blowingly bad stuff. It took some work from New Orleans to get them there, but the Grizzlies are good enough now to take advantage of some of those things.
Yeah, and again, some of it's on the questionable rotation decisions by Willie Green, in my opinion. But how about the Marcus Smart throw-in to Jaren Jackson Jr., where he was fouled by Jonas Valanciunas, and there was no question he was fouled. He was elbowed in the face. But just that play, that was sensational. Those are winning plays. And again, it shouldn't have gone to overtime if Tripp made both his free throws, and he made all his free throws all night until that one, but he made 2 big buckets in that overtime session to get the dub. Real quick, one other NBA note from last night. The beat goes on. The Detroit Pistons lose for the second straight game to Brooklyn at home, 118-112 after losing to them in New York the other day. The Pistons have now lost 27 straight. That's a one-season record that breaks the tie with Philadelphia, but the overall record is Philadelphia 28 over the course of 2 seasons. So the Pistons, who play the Celtics next, if they lose, which you would think they would tie the record, and then with Toronto on the horizon, they would break the record with a loss to the Raptors.
Congratulations to the Pistons.
So we got that going for ourselves.
And the good thing for them is the Boston game is on the road, but the Toronto game is back at home, so they get to continue to make the history in front of the home fans. When you're making history, you really want to do it in front of your home fans. They were able to do it last night, and now they get a chance to do it on Saturday night. The schedule really has worked out perfectly for them and for their fans. I don't know what more from a fan's perspective you'd want than to be able to get your seat literally twice in a week, get to see your team on your home floor making history. I'd imagine ticket sales are just amazing for Saturday.
Out the roof, no question about it. Don't you look to just make a bunch of deals if you're Detroit?
I'm sure they're looking at anything they could possibly come up with at this point.
If you were the Grizzlies and you're looking for the future, and I don't know what's possible, obviously, with contracts and things of that nature, does Jalen Duren do anything for you? Like for the future? Even though he's not the biggest big man, he plays like one of the biggest big men.
I would guess that Jalen Duren is one of the guys they would be wanting to hold on to. Mm-hmm. I would think Cade Cunningham, Jalen Duren.
Well, that's what they all have now.
Are two of the
untouchables?
The guys that they're going to. Well, it would take an awful lot, I'm guessing, to get them.
Well, they have Thompson now, right? He's a rookie. They still have Jaden Ivey. I don't know if they've given up on him. It's just amazing. Hey, if you're ready for a new Silverado, All-Star Chevy in Olive Branch has financing down to 1.9 or up to $10,000 cash. Plus, make no payment for 90 days because your good credit deserves it. You can check out all the red tag deals on Tahoes, Equinox, Trailblazers when you head down to Olive Branch. Families love the Traverse with the third row seating so you can travel in style and luxury anywhere you want. Holiday trips, yeah, absolutely. What are you driving in the new year? You should be driving one of these beautiful vehicles from All-Star Chevrolet. Military, teachers, college students, healthcare workers, you get an extra $500 bonus. If you want a certified pre-owned Chevy or any pre-owned, All-Star is loaded up for you. And if it's not there on the lot, ask Jeff. He'll find it for you. Kevin and Jeff want to wish everybody a happy new year. On their behalf, a Merry Christmas, obviously. And this week will be a busy week for them. So if you're looking for a vehicle for 2024, make sure to head on down to All-Star Chevrolet in Olive Branch. Remember, it's not South Haven, not Mount Moriah, Bartlett, or Collierville. It's got to be Olive Branch. Find new roads to All-Star Chevy today or go to allstarautogroup.com. When we come back, we're talking AutoZone Liberty Bowl game. The head coach of the Memphis Tigers, Ryan Silverfield, joins us next. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Be sure to follow us at Sports 56 WHBQ on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube to watch live video of our shows, stay up to date with station events, and have chances to win prizes. Don't miss out on anything that's going on. Follow us at Sports 56 WHBQ.
Case IH is a proud supporter of the Mississippi Farm Bureau, and thanks to a membership benefits partnership, Mississippi Farm Bureau members receive a discount of up to $500 on every qualifying Case IH tractor and piece of equipment you purchase. This discount may be used with other promotions, rebates, or offers. So join Mid-South Ag Equipment and the Mississippi Farm Bureau and pocket up to $500 in savings. Call Mid-South Ag at 662-890-3141 to get your discount today.
It's our season of giving back at Gossett Kia on the Pike, and we've got the perfect holiday gift for you. Hit the road with 41 MPG Highway 2023 Kia Forte LXS, $239 a month, $27.99 due at signing. Get road-ready SUVs, Seat 7 2023 Kia Sorento LX, $319 a month, $34.99 due at signing. And 8-passenger seating in your new 2024 Kia Telluride LX, $459 a month, $34.99 due at signing, all 36-month lease. Plus, you'll get peace of mind with Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Ask for Bobby J. He's ready to put you in a new Kia today. Gossett Kia, 1900 Covington Pike, or online, KiaCovingtonPike.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 650 acquisition fee, Forte RE 699,094, MSRP 21,385, Sorrento PG 242,710, MSRP 33,010, Telluride RG 462, 2822, MSRP 38,705, includes all rebates and incentives, must finance through Hyundai, excludes tax title and license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 1/2/2024, dealer stock only.
Roofs, and more roofs. Chris Price here with Metro Builders. Is your roof leaking? Do you have mold stains on the ceiling of your home or business? Is your carrier denying your claim or offering a repair simply because they don't have enough documentation? You need a contractor that performs work for insurance claims for policyholders each and every day, and Metro Builders is here to assist. Call Metro Builders. At Metro Builders, we provide free estimates, consultation, and claim repairs. Metro Builders' process of arriving, inspecting, diagnosing problems, and estimating is second to none, commercial and residential. Residential. Our team of Hague-certified technicians are standing by to assist you with providing estimates and photos to your carrier to document your loss. All you owe is what your policy states. No large fees on top of the final scope. We use high-grade materials and are certified by companies like Atlas, CertainTeed, Owens Corning, and Mulehide with labor warranties up to 50 years on all of our jobs. Metro Builders provides roof repairs across the Mid-South. Call Metro Builders to schedule your inspection free. Call me. 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717.
The season has changed. You know how I know? It's finally here, the Family Leisure Christmas Sale. Excellent deals on pool tables, shuffleboards, and saunas. Oh, we're just beginning. Tired and sore from shopping? Check out the huge selection in stock of hot tubs and massage chairs. Oh, and you can surprise the kids with the best stuff, like a new arcade, a game table, even a play gym. Gifts for the whole family to enjoy and enjoy together. Also on sale, theater seating, outdoor kitchens and grills, patio furniture, and fire pits. Merry Christmas from our family to yours. That's Family Leisure of Memphis. Every year we wait. They always deliver. They've done it again. The Family Leisure Christmas Sale is happening at I-40 and Whitten Road. That's 2120 Whitten Road to be exact. That's the place of shopping heaven. Family Leisure, where family and fun all come together.
Sports 56 traffic brought to you by Curfew.
Enjoy the ultimate dining experience at Curfew. Wednesday is Wing Wednesday with sweet fire chicken wings and fries for just $18 and $2 off draft beers. Curfew American Tavern Craft Cocktails, your new destination. 164 Union Avenue, main floor of the Canopy Hotel.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. Just a couple of minor accidents out here at this point. It's moving around just a bit up and down sections of Tullahoma. It still looks pretty good right now coming up through South Haven on 55 northbound as that traffic builds just a bit there up through South Haven in from DeSoto County. Still not bad in the Midtown area right now as we check that out live over here at I-40 at Chelsea. Hey, 24/7 reliable crane and rigging services right here in the Memphis area. It's Tomahawk Crane and Rigging. They're online at tomahawkcrane.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports 56 mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by East Memphis Ace Hardware at the corner of White Station and Quince. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
It has been a long season, but it has been a successful season once again for the Memphis Tigers football team, and it culminates in the AutoZone Liberty Bowl game on Friday against Iowa State. And it's time now to talk to Coach Silverfield.
It's time to talk Memphis Tigers football. It's Sports 56 Mornings weekly visit with Tigers head coach Ryan Silverfield. Brought to you by ATC Fitness with 18 locations in Memphis and the Mid-South. Now, here's Coach Silverfield with Greg and Eli.
He is the head coach of the Memphis Tigers. He is Ryan Silverfield. You can follow him on Twitter at @rsilverfield. Good morning, Coach.
Morning, guys. How are y'all?
Doing fantastic. Happy holidays to you. Look, this time of the year, we always wonder, all right, who's into this thing? Who's into the bowl game? It seems like every year, because I'm around you guys, I know that you guys are fired up to have this opportunity to play a Big 12 team. Seems like it's all smiles when I see the guys talk about this game. How has it gone so far for you in your preparations and now in your final preps for the game on Friday?
Yeah, you're exactly right. I think we're looking out throughout college football, and this year more now than ever, it's which team really wants it, which players are still available, who's going to go out there with the inspiration to go out there and have success in one last time. So our guys have been wonderful. They've had the right mindset, the right approach, just like they have all year, regardless of the game. I've been pleased with their effort and their focus, and the preparation's going well. We're winding down as we get closer. We'll have our walkthrough this morning at our facility, and then tomorrow will be our last run through, and then before you know it, we'll be kicking off at 2:30 on Friday in Bank Liberty Stadium for the AutoZone Liberty Bowl. But the guys are very excited. They understand the opponent and the ability to go get 10 wins. I think that's something, to be one of the top 5 teams in program history and wins would be huge.
How different does it make it bowl week when you are at home, when you're in your own facility, when you're going to be playing in your own stadium? Does it make it easier? What kind of differences does it make compared to a normal bowl week?
Sure, and that was a question whether our guys would be, excited about the opportunity to, hey, we're just going to drive a few minutes downtown and stay at this beautiful Sheraton on the river. A little bit different than loading a plane full of 200 people and going to Hawaii. But their guys have been great. They've handled it the right way. They're excited. I think the understanding of what our stadium's about, having our great fans here, making it easier for them and affordable for them to attend a game rather than having to travel. I think those are all advantages, right? Being able to use our own locker room, not only at the stadium but at the facility as well. So there's all those perks and positives. So a lot of our guys were excited. It was able to give them Christmas Day off. A lot of them were able to spend time with their coaches, at their homes, or even travel to local players' homes and spend the holidays with them. So all those things I think have made it worthwhile, and couldn't be more excited.
You talked about this time of the year with opt-outs. You just don't know about particular teams. I mean, we're looking at Florida State's down 19 players for their game against Georgia. You've had a couple, but not a lot. Iowa State, I haven't heard much about that. This seems like also a team that is excited to be in Memphis. They were in 2017 when you guys played them. So I would imagine this is going to be one of those bowl games where I think both teams bring their best. So with that said, what are your expectations against this Big 12 opponent?
Yeah, we've had a handful of starters that have elected to go try the transfer portal, and that's okay. That's where we're at in college football. Iowa State has really not lost anybody of substance, at least on the surface. None of their starters have appeared to do this. So I know they're excited. It's a Big 12 opponent that has had a lot of success. You just all you need to do is go back and watch their last game on the road at Kansas State, where their young running back ran for over 200 yards. Where they play stifling defense. That they've led the Big 12 in defense back-to-back years. We're gonna have our hands full. They're a very talented team. Coach Campbell, and Coach Haycock, their D coordinator, have been there for a long time. Have had a lot of success, and they're going to be playing inspired football as well. So we're going to come out swinging like we always do. Our guys got great belief in what we're capable of, and really excited about this matchup.
You mentioned that defense, and year after year they produce a really good defense. They've had 16 interceptions this year, which is among the top 10 in the country. I think 3 of their defensive backs were all Big 12 selections. So what is it about this defense that makes them so good? What do you have to be able to do against them?
Yeah, they're very consistent. They're a 3-3-5 defense, but they play with a middle safety, and he is a free hitter that comes down, makes plays, but then it changes up your reads, right? You're not sure, hey, is that middle safety, are they trying to play a cover 3? All of a sudden, is he playing a Tampa 2? Are they rolling down to some type of 3-weak coverage? And so they do a great job of being able to disguise it, and then they feel like their 3 guys up front can be able to handle it. And so I think that's one of the things why they've had success. And here's the deal. It's not just a flash in the pan. It's year after year after year. Tiger fans will remember in 2017 when we rolled out on the field with the right guys like Darrell Henderson and Tony Pollard and lots of good players, Anthony Miller, and they held us to 20 points, and so look, we're gonna have to do it. We got to be consistent. We have to own the football. I showed our team just even, Christmas. I asked them how many of those guys watch the NFL games, and I showed them the stats in the Baltimore Ravens, San Francisco 49ers football game, and in every category except for turnovers, the 49ers dominate. And I just said, look, this game is going to come down to that. And Iowa State has done a fantastic job of capitalizing on turnovers, and we're going to have to own the football, play effectively, and for our defense, obviously we're down our defense coordinator. We got to go out there and tackle better than we ever have.
Ryan Silverfield joining us, head coach of the University of Memphis Tigers football team, gearing up for Friday's AutoZone Liberty Bowl game against Iowa State. You mentioned you had a couple of starters opt out. They happen to be on the offensive line. Protecting for Seth, and then to get that running game going is of utmost importance. Is that the biggest concern going in? Is maybe being a lack of players, let's just say numbers on the offensive line?
Well, I think anytime those opportunities where you always want to have continuity at every position, but anytime you get a chance to have 5 guys playing together time and time again is huge. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, that's where we're at, right? Really, the starting left tackle and starting right guard are no longer with the program. And so we got guys that can step up and do a nice job. We've shuffled some of the guys, and great faith, right? Coach Myers, actually our offensive line coach, was at Iowa State for 5 years. But I believe wholeheartedly, and so does the entire offense, and those guys that we're going to put up front to handle the run game and also protect the quarterback. And they're going to do an excellent job.
The Iowa State's got a young quarterback, a freshman quarterback, but he started every game this year. So what do you see out of their offense?
Yeah, so always redshirt freshman. I think he's the same age as our 3-year starting quarterback. I always go back to that because everybody's like, he's so young. I'm like, really? Well, he's the same age as our guy. We're so used to hearing about the 26-year-old that say,
yeah, exactly.
Going into year 12, and I can't make too many jokes about that because we had one that was getting his doctorate. So, anyways, all that being said,
there you go.
I think their offense is going to line up, and I think they're going to try to line up in 12 personnel and big bodies and try to run it down our throat and try to take shots. I mean, I think that's what they do. They got some big body wide receivers. They got length at tight end, but I think they're going to line up and say, okay, hey, we're a Big 12 team. We feel like we're bigger and stronger than you. We're going to line up and try to run it down your throat and then take play action shots. And I believe that's what the game plan we're getting. I don't mind saying that because we've got to be able to line up and stop it. And, there's sometimes this season we have and other times where we haven't. And if we're not able to do it, then it's going to be, a tough sledding on Friday afternoon. But our guys are up for the challenge for sure.
As you have prepared your team for this battle on Friday, you completed the early signing period being extremely excited about the class you got coming in. I know you addressed the media, I think it was last week, but just a real brief recap for our listeners out there, Ryan. I know that you were smiling ear to ear with the job you guys were able to do, both with the portal and then obviously with incoming freshmen and junior college players.
Yeah, look, that's where we're at. I do smile when you say early signing because I don't know if we're signing anybody in February. I don't know if there's space. But yeah, look, I think you got to find the mixture. I think you can't sit there and say, hey, we're not going to take any high school kids. Hey, we're only taking transfer, or the other way around. So we tried to dive into each bucket, right? We got a handful of high school guys we're really excited about. I believe this is probably the best incoming freshman wide receiver class we've ever put together. 4 guys we got a lot of excitement for. A lot of good pieces to that puzzle with that incoming freshman. And I still think that's how you build a program, develop them. Hopefully you get to keep them. It'll be interesting when we have this conversation in 4 or 5 years, how many of those guys are still within the program. Hopefully quite a few. But then you look at, you still got to be able to take advantage of junior colleges. And I think obviously having those great Mississippi junior colleges close by has been helpful to us. And then, the transfer portal. It's something you got to take advantage of. And I don't mind sharing with listeners. Obviously, we're going to have some guys that can go in the portal after our bowl game. That's the way it works, and it's a numbers game, right? Everybody wants to add all these guys, but at some point, I don't think we're allowed to go in the next season with 160 guys. This isn't Junction Boys where we're allowed to go out there and just get as many as we want on the field and figure it out. So, but no, very exciting. Credit to our coaching staff and the support staff and the recruiting department, everybody involved. They did a phenomenal job. And kind of like I said at media day, recruiting to Memphis has become, I don't want to say easy, but it's just sells itself. We got, our university, what we've been able to do with the internships, our graduation rate within our football program, the people, the city itself. I'm so pleased, we put it all together and put together a wonderful class.
You talked about, obviously, losing your defensive coordinator, so you've got an interim DC. When that happens, how do you kind of decide on who's going to be doing that, and how does that work for that staff going into this bowl game? Yeah,
so the first time I got thrust into that was the Cotton Bowl, right? Hey, by the way, you're losing the guy that calls it the offensive plays. You're losing the guy that calls it defensive plays. Good luck. And so, I think that's one of those things, Eli, that we're going to see, moving forward, right? You're always going to have staff turnover. And I think I always quote it because I think it's important for fans to understand. I think there's over 500 Division I coaches and just Division I alone position coaches that changed jobs last year. So that's where we're at. It's kind of like the portal for players and coaches. But, going in, I looked and said, okay, how can we get the staff? And that's the great thing is, Charles Clark, Kyle Pope and Jordan Hankins have all been with us for at least 3 years. And so that's huge because, it's one thing if you had a guy that doesn't understand or had just kind of been there briefly, but they all work together great. I think we got to be smart with giving our guys what they can handle. I mean, it's not like we're, some people think we're out there practicing every day for a month. They had some time off with exams and, just to get their bodies back right. So go out there and try to just execute what we've done all season, but at a higher level. And we've got to be able to go out in there and do that. And, but credit to those guys. They've, a man down on the defensive side, but they've done a nice job of rallying together, and hopefully we can see it with the product on the field.
All right, before we let you go, we've talked about the future of college football and maybe things that would make it better, and right now they're kind of at a crossroads to try to improve the game. In a perfect world, wouldn't it be better to have everything after the bowl games? I mean, everything. Coaches can't move. Players can't go into a portal. There's no early recruiting maybe until January. Have all the bowl games, have the playoffs all completed, and then you have mass hysteria. Because to have mass hysteria while it's all going on, I think it devalues some of these games as well. What would you do, Ryan, to change it, to make it better?
Yeah, Greg, I mean, that's great. I think that's the magic thing. Anytime a head coach gets on and complains about the way college football is, right, the media will snap back and say, well, you make so much money, so be quiet. And, you get guys like Dave Clawson, guys that have, they're intelligent, that have done it at a high level. They're just trying to speak out respectively, trying to find ways to make this.
Right.
Because the reality of it is, this is not good for the game. And what we're doing, and we can sit there and say it's great for player rights, and I understand all that. I get that, right? I understand that, there's battles that will continue. I always want what's best for the players. I think NIL is great, and I think the ability to transfer. But it seems like they've kind of just thrown their hands up in the air and said, hey, let's let it be what it is. Mm-hmm. And I think you talk to any head coach throughout college football, and, and at some point we got to say, hey, head coaches, stop complaining, figure it out. But this is not the right way to go about things. There's no... It's not. We keep saying it's not sustainable. It's not. When you're working more hours, on December 22nd than you are August 22nd. I don't know. Excuse me. If that's necessarily the right thing. But again, I do believe is there a way to get all the bowl games moved up a couple weeks? I don't know if that's possible because you do have exams. You still have student athletes. I still believe in the education piece of this. And how do you get more players playing these bowls? I think, we're always going to have challenges, and I think there's, I don't know if there's one answer. Mm-hmm. I wish I had that. I do wish there was some a semblance of normalcy. I mean, literally, you wake up 3 days ago and there's a new rule change that totally throws everything for a loop, and
right.
The person that made that rule change has never once sat or laid foot on a football field, and it drastically changes the way you go about things. And that's where we're at. And so, you know what? Instead of sitting here and saying boo-hoo, you get ahead of it and you put your foot on the gas and you say, okay, good. All right, instead of let's work 120 hours this week and let's go find the best players. Let's put together the best game plan. Let's go. It's turned into mass hysteria, but you can't back away from it. You just got to jump to the fire. So guess what? I've thrown everything I got into this thing, and it may kill me.
Right.
That's what we're doing. I hope on the 30th, maybe I can close my eyes for a few hours and then wake back up. And
get a cat nap in there, Ryan. That's all you need.
So you guys are the visitors technically in this game. So have you had like a practice run out of the locker room and going right rather than going left?
Yeah, that's guess what? Usually I'm the one that leads them out of the locker room. Maybe I'll let somebody else. We'll probably have to have the whoever, like, hey, can we get the cheerleaders and the band to kind of turn us to that way so there's no... I'm going to have to keep reminding myself because, you veer left for 8 straight years and all of a sudden one last time, hey, let's veer right.
They need signs out there, but there still will be for those who want to be there for it. There will be a Tiger walk. It just won't be through Tiger Lane. It'll be through the Silver parking lot. Is that correct, Ryan?
That is correct. I don't know the exact logistics of it, but yeah, there's going to be a Tiger walk, and we'd love to have our fans out there early. I mean, it means so much to our guys. To be out there, especially in such a meaningful bowl game. If they could get out there and support it, always means the world to our guys.
All right. Well, listen, nothing but success to you. We'll see you out there on Friday. Really appreciate your time. We know how busy your schedule is.
Absolutely. Appreciate you guys. Looking forward to seeing all of our Tiger fans at the AutoZone Liberty Bowl. Happy holidays. Go Tigers.
Thank you, Coach. Ryan Silverfield, head coach of the Memphis Tigers. Tigers and Iowa State on Friday. Yeah. I think we're all in agreement about the benefits for players, name, image, likeness. I think we're all on board with that. I mean, I know there's some kookiness as far as that's concerned, but most people understand where we are now. The problem is the calendar. The calendar is out of whack. That needs to be fixed.
It won't be.
It may not be, but that needs to be fixed. That could cure a lot of the ills.
I just don't know what. They're not moving the bowl games because ESPN wants This is the big week that ESPN wants the programming between Christmas and New Year's. They're not moving the bowl games around, and I don't know how you're not ever going to you're not going to limit the coaches from leaving. You're not going to say you can't leave. That's never going to happen.
Just have a moratorium on any movement in December.
But again, how? You can't tell schools they can't hire people.
I don't know. Maybe you can. Maybe you can do it.
I mean, that would be shot down in a second. You can't tell us we can't hire people during the month of December at our school. We run a university. We can hire who we want to hire.
But you certainly can tell players that there's no portal open in December. You could also tell players.
If you're going to allow the coaches to move, then we're going to tell the players they can't move. It's the never-ending thing.
Yeah, but it is whacked right now. It really is.
The folks over at East Coast Wings and Grill, they will have the Tigers bowl game on Friday. They got all the bowl action going on all week long, and a lot of bowl action during the day, early evening, during happy hour, where you can take advantage of those special prices, the 2-for-1 on the draft beers, bucket specials, and much, much more. And a lot of folks are off this week, enjoying some free time. Well, get on over to East Coast Wings and Grill, watch the bowl games, watch all the, of course, Grizzlies action, Tigers basketball action as well. All the games are always on at East Coast Wings and Grill, and while you're there, you can enjoy some of their great wings. They've got 60 different flavors for you to choose from. Beyond the wings, they've got so many other great items on the menu, the wonderful flatbreads, the burgers, other sandwiches. You can find it all at a great menu at East Coast Wings and Grill. 24 draft beers on tap, plus any other drinks that you need. They'll take good care of you at East Coast Wings and Grill, located just off Highway 64. Kate Hyde Boulevard. It's a street that runs off Highway 64 right between Lowe's and Walmart. I'm sure many people have been by there over the last few weeks doing some Christmas shopping in that area. Well, get back over there. Check them out at East Coast Wings and Grill.
We'll talk some more college football when we return. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
We are Real Sports Talk. Sports 56 WHBQ. Available on your radio dial at 560 AM and 98.5 FM, as well as around the world online at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56. Wherever you are, stay tuned in to Real Sports Talk. Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Merry Christmas from Choate's Air Conditioning, Heating, and Plumbing. We're here to make your holiday season extra cozy and cheerful. For the first 50 customers who purchase a new Carrier system or tankless water heater, we have a special gift for you. Choose from a free 75-inch smart TV, a PlayStation 5, an Xbox X, a Nintendo Switch, or a $500 gift card on us. It's our way of spreading holiday joy. But hurry, this festive offer will only last through December 24th. Enjoy a comfortable Christmas and a special present from Choate's. Because when you choose us, you're not just a customer, you're family. Schedule your free estimate today at 901-347-8086. Choate's Air Conditioning, Heating, and Plumbing. Let our family serve your family this holiday season. Wishing you a warm and joyful Christmas from Choate's.
You or someone you know or care about has dealt with a difficult divorce. When facing divorce, you need the attorneys at Rice Law. Nick and Larry Rice lead the firm with 3 generations and 7 decades of experience. Located in Memphis, serving the entire state of Tennessee and North Mississippi. Rice Law is who you need to call. Simple or difficult divorce, they know how to handle it. Call Rice Law at 901-526-6701, or for more information, visit them at aboutdivorce.com. That's aboutdivorce.com.
Can't sleep with this cold.
Honey.
Honey?
Honey, you need NyQuil Severe Honey.
NyQuil Severe Honey gives you powerful cold and flu symptom relief with a dreamy honey taste.
Feeling better, honey? Honey? I'll take that as a yes.
Try NyQuil Severe Honey for powerful cold and flu symptom relief. NyQuil Severe with honey flavor. The nighttime sniffling, sneezing, coughing, aching, fever. Honeylicious, best sleep with a cold. Medicine. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
5 Ash Roofing, it's what we do. Roofing painting and siding, gutters too. We're the pros you can trust to get it done right. Call on us. 5-Ash Roofing, the name to know. 5-Ash Roofing, the only way to go. 5-Ash Roofing, it's what we do. 5-Ash Roofing.
Is that not the corniest thing you've ever heard? Can you believe I paid good money for that silly jingle? Well, the experts say make it memorable, and I think I got my money's worth. 5-Ash Roof Services, proud partner of the Memphis Tigers and the official roofer of the Tigers home team. 5-Ash Roofing, 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
5-Ash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by East Memphis Ace Hardware at the corner of White Station and Quince. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Everybody's working for the weekend.
My bowl viewing experience has been minimal to this point. It will start to gear up here in the next few days. Got a call from Jarvis Greer there. But anyway, it was Kansas and it was UNLV last night, and they played a wild one. Late game last night in the Guaranteed Rate Bowl. So Barry Odom's UNLV Rebels, which had a really good season, got beat by Kansas 49-36. Jason Bean with a 6-touchdown game for the Jayhawks.
That line kept dropping all day yesterday. I have no idea why, but it went from like 13 down to 8.
Because they weren't sure if Bean was going to play. Wasn't that the story?
I have no idea. I don't care enough to look it up. And I'm not betting a bowl game.
As long as you're not gambling on it, right?
I don't. I'm not that dumb. So, but I just saw that it kept dropping and dropping and dropping. But in the end, they end up covering that. The 8, I guess, I don't know if it was ever over 13. If it was, then you got a bad. That's a rough one if you took it at over 13 and you had Kansas.
85 points total in that game, so a high-scoring affair. Also, Texas State beat Rice 45-21. I heard a stat from that game. This was the First Responder Bowl played at SMU's home stadium where the Memphis Tigers played in last year. They said that was the largest attended game of the year. So out of all the SMU home games, including some big games, important games in the conference, they were outdrawn by Texas State and Rice and their fans. Bowling Green, Minnesota. You talk about a game that I couldn't care less about. Minnesota, they rode the boat, I guess. 30-24, Minnesota wins in the Quick Lane Bowl. So
they row the boat well in bowl games. I think that's 7 straight.
7 straight for Minnesota?
Mm-hmm.
So today you have 4 games. You have Virginia Tech and Tulane in the Military Bowl. That will be at 1 o'clock. But you do not have Michael Pratt. Willie Fritz has obviously moved on to Houston. So I don't know what type of Tulane team we'll see. You have North Carolina and West Virginia in the Duke's Mayo Bowl with the pouring of the mayo onto the head coach, the winning coach, which is sick. Both teams at 8-4. You have Louisville and USC. Louisville 15th ranked. USC, no Caleb Williams, 7-5. Disappointment for Lincoln Riley. That's the Holiday Bowl. And then Texas A&M and Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State is 20th ranked. That's the Texas Bowl. Texas A&M supposedly missing half their team. A limited amount of players actually for the game is what they said. 55 players dressed or something like that. Crazy for football.
They've had a lot leave, especially when you have a coaching change. That certainly is going to happen, and that has hit Texas A&M this year. But again, it's just part of college. It's part of college football these days. It is what it is. That's why we can talk until we're blue in the face about this. They should do this. They should. There's very little they can do. Guys are going to continue to opt out. There's nothing you can do about that, really. I mean, it is what it is. Like, you just have to accept college football and the bowl games, accept them for what they are, which they've been exhibitions for a long time. They continue to be exhibitions, except for a few. At least starting next year, we will have more games that do matter. So that's a good thing.
Which will, I think, broaden the divide between the bowls that matter and don't matter. And also, there is something you can do. Again, with the players, you can do something about it. Because the players right now, I'm not talking about the Caleb Williams of the world. I'm not talking about the Jaden Daniels, the guys that are getting ready for the NFL and they don't want to play in the bowl game because it's not a playoff game. I understand that, right? They're getting ready for the draft, or maybe they're getting ready for the Senior Bowl, whatever the case may be. But it's all these other dudes that are leaving. They're not able to reap the rewards of their team and all the hard work, all the sweat put in all season long to play in the bowl game, to get their swag bag and all that good stuff.
They are able to if they want to.
No. They really can't, because they want to be able to have a better situation for them next year with a team where maybe they become starter or maybe they become a player who gets more playing time. So they are thrust into this situation that they probably shouldn't be in if the calendar was better. If they did not allow these players to enter the portal until after the bowl season was done, it would be a lot easier. I don't understand that. So therefore, you have all these players. Davian Carter wouldn't have left Memphis and gone to Texas Tech. Macallan Pounders would not have left and gone to where Mississippi State. Not this early. Not if you had a moratorium about against these guys moving on. And so it's only going to get worse and worse and worse. And again, with more playoff games, more importance on those games, less importance on the actual bowl games themselves.
I don't see that at all. Like
I do.
The other bowl games are the other bowl games, and they will continue to be the other bowl games. Like there's just more playoff games.
My thought is this: there's been 2 playoff games and then a championship game. So if you want your fill of football, there's a lot more games to watch, and you do watch them. But if there's all of a sudden you're watching, how many playoff games will there be next year with 12 teams?
There's 11.
Math. There's 11 games as opposed to 3. So there's 11 games, and now you're like, I've seen enough football. I don't need to see the Quick Lane Bowl. I don't need to see the Mayo Bowl.
These bowl games all happen before those playoff games. Like, so you're like, who cares? You're either going to watch for your team or not, or because you're gambling on the game.
Well, that's true.
The AutoZone Liberty Bowl will be the AutoZone Liberty Bowl. It's the same thing. Like, it's just, I'm good. It's better because we have more games that do mean. But right now, it's no secret that the New Year's 6 games are better matchups than these others. So people are more likely to watch them than they are the others.
There's a reason why 2017 had great attendance and excitement to see Iowa State play Memphis. And in 2023, those numbers are going to be down. I'm not saying there's not still excitement. In fact, this is
because Iowa State doesn't want to play Memphis again. That has nothing to do with how many teams are in the playoff.
And Memphis fans don't want to go and see their team play in their own stadium. I mean, there's going to be a certain amount of people.
That has nothing to do with how many teams are in the playoff, though.
I still think you can get oversaturated with games. And if you have important games compared to non-important games, the important games are always going to take precedent. It's like having a bunch of regular season
and
games
what it is
and
right
NBA
now.
playoff games. You care more about the playoff games than the regular season games.
And that's what it is we have right now. We're just going to have more playoff games now.
I just think there's more of a division. But I still think the biggest problem is allowing these players to hit a portal in between the end of the regular season and the bowl games. It devalues the bowl games. But again, as you said, and this is absolutely right on, the networks, all they care about is programming. They don't care if there's 7 people in the seats at the actual stadium. All they care about is that there are eyeballs watching their games and buying the products that are advertised on those games. That's all they care about.
This is the best program ESPN could have this time of year. They can't put any live college basketball on that's going to beat the bowl games. Like, the bowl games are the best programming they can have. It's easy for them. That's why they own so many bowls. Like, all they want is that programming. They're not going to move it. This week is the most important week for bowl games for them, so they're not moving them. They want them to fill this week of programming for them and a little bit before Christmas as well. That's what they're there for, that's not changing.
It's not like they're the greatest numbers, these games. Let's be honest.
But they're better than anything else ESPN could put on.
All they would have is repeat stuff. You're absolutely right. All they would have is repeat, 30 for 30s, all kinds of stuff like that. So they have fresh, brand new programming.
And again, it does better than live college basketball this time of year.
I know.
It's college football. Bowl games there's nothing they can put on better. So you're not going to convince ESPN, hey, get rid of those bowl games, move them somewhere else, and put this on in its place.
That genie ain't going back into the bottle. I understand that. But you can do something about the mass exodus of players at this time.
This hour of our program is brought to you by East Memphis Ace Hardware, corner of White Station and Quince is where you'll find them. Go by and see them. You got some projects you're trying to get done for the holiday season around the house while you've got some time off. Well, they've got everything you need and a great staff to help you find it. Of course, the Benjamin Moore paints, massive selection of paints, but all the tools, everything you need for any DIY project, you'll find it at East Memphis Ace Hardware, corner of White Station and Quince.
We will open up hour 2 talking Memphis Tigers basketball. Assistant coach Andy Borman will join us. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Experience the taste of Italy at Little Italy's newest location in East Memphis at Massey and Poplar. Little Italy has great Italian food with all your favorite dishes, from lasagna, rigatoni vodka, Alfredo, even lobster ravioli. Try Little Italy's very generous hot calzone, stuffed with your choice of meats and melted cheeses. East Memphis Little Italy wants to spoil you with a piece of Italy you can feel, taste, see, enjoy, and eat. East Memphis Little Italy, hidden in the back at the corner of Massey and Poplar.
All 650 acquisition fees. Sportage R723 5498 MSRP 28940. Sorrento PG 424,710 MSRP 33,010. Telluride RG 462822 MSRP 38,705. Includes all rebates and incentives. Must finance through Hyundai. Excludes tax title and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 1/2/2024 with approved credit dealer stock only.
Hey, my man Jeff Allen, what's going on for the holidays over at Gossett Kia South Mount Moriah?
It's the season of giving back at Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah, and I've got your holiday presents right here.
Tell us about it, Jeff.
Award-winning SUV 2024 Kia Sportage LX, $299 a month, $34.99 due at signing. 2023 Kia Sorrento LX, perfect for your road trips, $329 a month. And the 2024 Kia Telluride LX, we got it at $459 a month, all 36-month lease.
Well, you can't get much better than that, Jeff. And all Kias come with the 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty.
So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah. And from all of us at Gossett Kia South on Mount Moriah, happy holidays.
Roofs, and more roofs. Chris Price here with Metro Builders. Is your roof leaking? Do you have mold stains on the ceiling of your home or business? Is your carrier denying your claim or offering a repair simply because they don't have enough documentation? You need a contractor that performs work for insurance claims for policyholders each and every day, and Metro Builders is here to assist. Call Metro Builders. At Metro Builders, we provide free estimates, consultation, and claim repairs. Metro Builders' process of arriving, inspecting, diagnosing problems, and estimating is second to none, commercial and residential. Our team of Hague-certified technicians are standing by to assist you with providing estimates and photos to your carrier to document your loss. All you owe is what your policy states. No large fees on top of the final scope. We use high-grade materials and are certified by companies like Atlas, CertainTeed, Owens Corning, and Mulehide with labor warranties up to 50 years on all of our jobs. Metro Builders provides roof repairs across the Mid-South. Call Metro Builders to schedule your inspection free. Call me. 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717.
This holiday season, give the gift of Gould's with a Gould's gift card for someone you love. It's the perfect gift for everyone. The Gould's gift card doesn't just send wishes, it grants them in store and online. Just come to any Gould's and pick up a gift card or go to GouldSalonSpa.com to purchase online. That's GouldSalonSpa.com. Happy holidays from Gould's. Gould's Salon Spa, locally owned and operated since 1932.
Get the home field advantage every time with Fairfield by Marriott, the official hotel of the NCAA. Whether you're a student athlete working towards your championship dreams or your team's biggest fan, Fairfield by Marriott has everything you need to get ready for game day, from comfortable guest rooms to a complimentary hot breakfast. Visit fairfield.marriott.com to book your next game day stay. Fairfield by Marriott, part of the Marriott Bonvoy portfolio of hotels, an official hotel of the NCAA.
Jenkins Floors and More in Hernando is growing. This family business started up 5 years ago with just one pallet, and now they have hundreds. Tim, the owner, gets calls from people everywhere and can sometimes save them up to 50% on wood flooring, carpet, tile, and vinyl. Jenkins Floors and More helps with renovations, home building, and installation. Jenkins Floors and More, number 6 East Commerce Street in Hernando. Also in Little Rock and coming soon to Tennessee. Call 662-469-9350 for more information.
Sports 56 traffic brought to you by Curfew.
Enjoy the ultimate dining experience at Curfew. Wednesday is Wing Wednesday with sweet fire chicken wings and fries for just $18 and $2 off draft beers. Curfew American Tavern Craft Cocktails, your new destination. 164 Union Avenue, main floor of the Canopy Hotel.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. Traffic has picked up just a bit in the last few minutes out here on 40 going westbound between Abilene and Sycamore View Road. It's still holding up on 385 Billmores Parkway, clear shot right now as you come out of Collierville all the way up to 240. Watch for a little bit of radar spotted earlier south of Memphis down through DeSoto County. Hey, Weimer's Jewelry, located 7525 Highway 64, is your full-service family-owned jewelry store here in Memphis. I'm Commander Chuck. You're on-time traffic.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Oh, yeah. Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers.
Genuine diamonds, baby.
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everyone. We are live and in color all week long here on Sports 56 Mornings and all our shows throughout the day. We'll have off for New Year's Day next Monday and then back at it again on Tuesday. Keeping you up to date with everything that's happening in the world of sports during a very, very busy time. Currently 38 degrees, sunshine. We're looking at partly cloudy skies pretty much throughout the afternoon. And chilly, high of only 51. Mostly cloudy skies tonight, a low of around 31. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, Zach Boyd with you on this Wednesday, December 27th, 2023. We are inside the Family Leisure Studios, Family Leisure, where family and fun come together, 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. And the second hour of the program is brought to you each and every day by our friends at James Gaddis Jewelers. This is a good time, folks. Right after Christmas, right before New Year's is a busy time for all merchants, whether it be in the jewelry business, the car industry. A lot of people get their bonuses and things of that nature, and they look to spend. And if you're looking to get great deals and you're getting quality jewelry, it's James Gaddis Jewelers. They've been in existence for a long time. They've been a part of the fabric of Memphis for a long time as well. James will take care of you, and he has a lot of terrific people that can help you pick out that special diamond ring or any of their great jewelry, including those beautiful watches. They have a wide variety of watches, different makes and models, custom-made jewelry, gemstones of all types, bracelets, necklaces, earrings, pendants, plus one-of-a-kind estate and vintage jewelry. They are full-service jewelers with two bench jewelers ready to serve you. All their diamonds are independently graded and certified. So if you're looking for that special engagement ring in 2024, wedding rings, personally designed wedding sets, make sure to head over to James Gaddis Jewelers. 4900 Poplar between Mendenhall and St. Nick, and on the web at gaddisjewelers.com. It is time now to talk some Memphis Tigers basketball with Andy Borman.
It's time to talk Memphis Tigers basketball. Joining Sports 56 Mornings is Tigers assistant coach Andy Borman. Now, here's Coach Borman with Greg and Eli.
It is great to talk Tigers hoops each and every week with Andy Borman, Tigers assistant basketball coach. You can follow him on Twitter at Andy_Borman. And Andy, very kind of you. I know you flew back in last night after getting a few days for the holidays, get away from everything, and you're back in with us here this morning, so we appreciate it. Hope you had a great Christmas.
Thank you. Same to you. How was your Christmas? Good?
Yeah, everything was good. You know, we get the one day off. We were back at the grind yesterday, back on the air, you know, and obviously it's a busy time, so we got to keep pushing along, just like you guys have to as well. Saturday, you'll play your final non-conference game of the season as you'll take on Austin P, and then it's conference play from here on out leading up to the tournament. But last Saturday, it was a hard-fought, come-from-behind win over a Vandy team that has been struggling, but a Vandy team that certainly stepped up in that particular game and was looking to shock everybody around the country by knocking you guys off. But in the end, you were able to make enough plays to win that basketball game. But I'm sure you guys talked about it with the team. I'm sure Penny did as well, that these are the type of games where you maybe got one eye thinking about the vacation, right, going to see the family, and maybe only just the one eye on the game, and it almost come back to bite you.
Yeah, I mean, I think I don't think we played our best basketball. I think that's pretty evident. I think everybody knows that. I do think they played really well, you know, and regardless of record, you know, there's two things about Vanderbilt. One, they're a high major team that's more talented than anyone is going to give them credit for, you know. And the second thing is, Coach Stackhouse always gets his teams better. They always get better. Like, you know, last year we played them first game of the season, you know, and this year we played them right before the break, you know. So I think it's a combination of all facts, right? I think they're better than they get credit for. I think Coach Stackhouse gets them better, you know, and so they're going to be better. We just caught a better version of them. And I wouldn't be surprised if they have a good SEC campaign. You know, I don't know exactly how they'll do, obviously. But for us, man, just glad to get a win.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes it doesn't have to be pretty, right? Mm-hmm. You know, you want it to be. But sometimes it doesn't have to be pretty if you can just get the result and get the heck out of there.
So when you are in a game like that, and when that last 3-pointer's in the air, does it feel like you're watching it in slow motion? Like, what's that feeling from a coach's perspective?
Yes, absolutely. Pure dread. You know, and you're watching it in slow motion, and obviously, you know, every single worst case scenario is, you know, going through your head. You know, please don't go in. Please don't foul them. You know, please nothing. You know, and please don't give us a errant whistle. You know, just so many things. You know, and I think it's always, you guys obviously have been in Memphis longer than me, but it's almost like, is someone out to get us? You know, you kind of have that feeling. And then the horn goes off, and it's kind of like the all clear, right? Like the fire drill is over. It's all clear, and then you're kind of like, "Are we sure? Are we sure?" And then you just get the heck out of the gym as fast as you can.
Let's all get out of here before they change their mind.
Exactly right.
Yeah, you feel like after all the hard work that has been put in, and the big dubs, and where you stand, and then the rankings, you give up a lot of it if you lose that game, but you found a way to win. And like you said, Andy, it's just win. At the end, it's just win the game no matter what it takes. And I did think Vanderbilt played really well. What's interesting is Vanderbilt is down starters. They lost their leading scorer, I think was announced a couple of days before the game was even played. And I'm wondering to myself, maybe he doesn't have the right guys in there, because the guys that played well. And I don't know what it is about those little guards, but you guys have some problems with those little tiny guards. And that number 5 guy was unbelievable for them.
Yeah, Mannion. Yeah, he was really good. And it's funny you say that, because Coach Hardaway made a point of talking to the team about that before the game. You know, like, hey, these little guys, you know, the little guy from Jackson State, you know, Adams had a I mean, that made, you know, if he puts his highlight film together, we could be a significant portion of it. You know, so, you know, that's something we spoke about, and we had, you know, a handful of things that we were going to do, you know, to really kind of keep him under wraps. We just didn't execute them, you know, and the most important thing, obviously, is that we won. You know, the second most important thing is that, you know, kind of similar to rebounding, right? Like, we identified a potential problem, and now that it's identified, it's something we got to work on so that it doesn't bite us in the butt as the year progresses.
When you got a team like that, so coming in, Vanderbilt, their 3-point percentage as a team is bad. They're one of the worst in the country.
Yeah.
Then suddenly they just start making threes, and they're shooting 50% midway. So, like, as a game goes along, do you at some point go, I guess maybe we got to change our our idea of how we're going to guard them, or do you think eventually they're going to start missing because the odds tell us they should? Like, how do you approach that when a team's doing something that they just normally don't do?
Yeah, it's a little bit of both. I think it depends on who's the one making them, right? Like, we had identified, and I can't pronounce his last name.
The Greek freak, the Greek freak part 2 is what I like to call him.
Yeah, the big white kid. We had identified him as a shooter, and then he comes out and makes his first 2 or 3. Well, we already knew he could do that, So that's something, at timeouts and at halftime, Coach Hardaway, is telling our guys, like, we've identified him. Like the other kid, Jason Rivera Torres, number 23, I believe. We had identified him as a shooter. So when those two guys are making shots, that has already been discussed when we're doing scouting, when we're doing pregame, when we're doing walkthrough, like the whole thing. So, like, that's where I say, like, specific to those individuals, there should be no game plan adjustment. That's just carrying out the actual game plan. And then if there are other guys that kind of start to pile on because they feel it, those are the guys we want shooting. If they make a couple, the odds will generally even out in your favor. So I think it's more kind of like the sky wasn't falling, in regards to the fact that, like, all their non-shooters were just having a field day. We did a below average job of maintaining, because if we would have shut down their 2 shooters, they wouldn't have shot like that. So I think it, but by the way, I know I'm getting long-winded here. I feel the same exact way, because we played Villanova, and it was like, it felt like they had fans coming out of the stands, but then the next game they play, like, Penn, and go like 4 for 27 from 3.
Right.
And I'm like, why us?
Yeah.
Like, why? Like, can we switch that, please?
Yeah, you're right. And not only did it feel like it, we were watching it, and I think I saw that. I think there were people coming in from the stands knocking down threes against you. All right, so Naquan Tomlin makes his debut. Penny gets him 15 and a half minutes. What did you think of his first minutes in a Tigers uniform, and how do you see him helping this team as you move along this year?
Yeah, I mean, the first thing I'd say is, like, what an incredibly tough spot to be in. Stepping in for the first time with a team that's just winning games over and over and over against great opponents. And, a complete credit to, Naquan and all of our other team members, because it was seamless, right? Like, everyone wanted him to play. He wants to play, and everyone wants him to play. So in that regard, seamless. And then I thought he played well. Especially like, Coach Hardaway said, like, we've got guys that have been, in Malcolm and Jaden, that have been doing this for 5, 6, 8 years. We got other guys that have been here since June. We got other guys that have been here since, early September. And he's been here like 4 days. So I thought it was as seamless as it could be, right? Like, I thought it was really good. I think he showed flashes of, like, holy cow, this could be real fun, right? And I think it's just one of those things we're going to keep building on. And I think it was great to get him in before the break. And I think kind of like the second half, right, coming back from Christmas, it's kind of like a second half, like it's a new beginning. And so I think it'll be awesome to have him with us as we kind of start the second half of the year. And I think he's incredibly talented, and he makes us very hard to play against.
From Naquan to Jaquan, With a guy like Walton, who can shoot the basketball from three-point range. He was a 40% shooter last year. He starts this year, goes 6 of 9 in the first 2 games. But right now, just cannot buy a three.
Yeah.
What do you do? Like, because I imagine there's got to be, some of it's just got to be mental at this point. Like, how do you try and clear his head? Like, what's the approach to a guy who's in a shooting slump like that?
Well, he's just got to shoot his way out of it, and shoot his way out of it doesn't mean shoot your way out of it during the game, and by the way, like, just to be clear, Coach Hardaway, the staff, the players, if he's open and it's a good shot, everybody's saying shoot it because we believe in him. And we know he's just got to, it's like a case of the yick. He's just got to get through it. But generally speaking, the way you get through it, come early, stay late, and just, 500 makes a day, 600 makes a day, 700. You just need to see the ball go in the basket over and over and over again. And then in a game, he's just got to make 1 or 2 in a row.
Yeah.
Just like 2 in a row. And then because he is such a, like you said, 40% natural scorer, always done it everywhere he's been. The minute he sees 2 go in, he'll have amnesia. He'll completely forget about everything else.
All right. Last thing for you. So now you get ready for conference play after playing Austin Peay on this Saturday. You will be favored in quite a few games. We saw, even after you won on Saturday, in the net, you guys went down. You dropped because you were playing a team that was struggling. So every one of these games, it's going to be that type of situation where if you win, you're supposed to win, and if you lose, it's going to hurt you. How can you guys get up for every single game? Because it almost seems like it's an impossibility for any team around the nation to be always up for their opponent. But how can you try to at least attempt that?
No, that's the challenge, right? And I think, like you just said, I think the key is being honest about it. And for everyone, we're going to be the game circled. We really are. And I think the other thing, too, is like, for us, it kind of becomes less about who you're playing and just more about yourself. Mm-hmm. Hey, by the way, like, this team has a little guard. That's something we've struggled with. Here's an area we can improve. Hey, rebounding. Like, if we focus on us and we focus on getting better every single time we step out there, then, yeah, exactly what you just said. Like, it's less about, just like, oh, this is a throwaway game. Mm-hmm. And it's more about this is an opportunity to continue to get better. And then look, all of us, right? Like, I'm sure you guys as well, like, just enjoy competing. Mm-hmm. Just enjoy the
process. The process,
yeah,
right?
Yeah. And not just the process, just also like, hey, who wants to practice for 14 days in a row? No one. So here's an opportunity to put on the jersey and go beat the hell out of somebody else, and kind of break it up a little bit. So I think it's that, and I think that's something that is definitely kind of the challenge ahead, but it's also protecting, like you said earlier, it's like protecting the work we've already put in.
Right.
I don't know how you do it if you've had like a miserable, like say we're 5-7 right now, that's gotta be hard. I think that's gotta be harder. Right now, like we're protecting something really precious that we've built, but that's the challenge ahead, isn't it?
It is. Mm-hmm. It is. And you'll have the bullseye. You're the hunted as opposed to the hunter.
Anyways.
Yeah.
But we did, and we did anyways. Like we no matter what our record, 10-2, 9-3, 8-5, we were the bullseye anyway.
But you know what's good, Andy? In this case, this year in the American Conference, with the addition of Florida Atlantic, it's almost like you have a running mate. They're that good as well. So it's not like you're doing it out there by yourself. So it's almost like that competition between brothers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no. I agree, and they'll, they're going to get everyone's best shot as well. And it is ironic, these conference schedulers are pros because they did it just like Houston last year, where you play Florida Atlantic twice in 10 days.
Shocking how that works out. I wonder how that possibly worked out that way.
Yeah, how could they have predicted that?
Not their first rodeo. Not their first rodeo.
Clearly.
All right. Well, listen, Saturday is the end of 2023, basically, the day before, of course, New Year's Eve, and look to close it out in style, and then it's all conference play from here on out to begin 2024, leading into the NCAA tournament, and the Memphis Tigers are going to be ready for all challenges. He is Andy Borman, Memphis Tigers assistant basketball coach, who joins us each and every week during the Tiger basketball season. You can follow him on Twitter at Andy_Borman. Andy, as always, thank you so much. We'll see you on Saturday.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Take care.
So there you go, folks. They still have confidence in Shaquan Walton to make shots. So all the people who keep saying they got to tell him to quit shooting, clearly that's not going to happen.
Yeah, it was kind of scary when he said, he's just got to shoot his way out of it. And he goes, well, it's not necessarily in the games. It could be in practice, too. He was
6 of 9 the first 2 games. I mean, he shot 40% last year from three-point range for the season. He is, since that 6 of 9 start, he is 4 for 39. In the last 7 games, he is 1 for 27. And in the last 4, 0 for 17.
Do you have his 2-point shooting numbers by chance?
I do not.
Better than that. 1 of 27?
Yes.
See, what I liked about Jaquan in the last 4 or 5 games is he started to go to the hole. He's realizing he's still shooting the threes when he's open, but he's realizing I can't make these things. I got to go to the hole if I'm going to score, and he's done that. And he's played some pretty good lockdown defense. So he's done some things to contribute to the Dubs.
Saturday he was 2 for 4.
2 for 4
range. Yeah. While going 0 for 6 from 3.
I would suggest continue to shoot 2-pointers as opposed to 3-pointers. The Crazy Coop is a great place for hot wings, folks. If you are looking for a delicious lunch or for dinner, you want an event catered, think the Crazy Coop. 7199 Highway 64 between Appling and Kirby Whitten, and not far from us, the Crazy Coop Express at 1315 Ridgeway off Poplar. What makes them the best hot wings is their flavoring. 29 different seasonings that they use, everything from sweet maple bourbon to the crazy sweet lemon pepper hot or the crazy suicide. You can get those seasonings on their whole wings, their party wings, their boneless wings. They got those big, delicious chicken tenders as well. Ask them about their crazy packs. At the Bartlett location, you got the full menu. That includes delicious catfish sandwiches, half-pound burgers, fried okra, green tomatoes, fried dill pickles. Stop by, have dinner, enjoy the games on the big screen TVs. Locally owned and operated. As I mentioned, they'll cater events, so give them a call or stop by and ask them about their catering services. You can order online, pick up, or have any of these services delivered to your home or your office. You can find them on Instagram and Facebook as well. Absolutely out of this world hot wings. You've tried the rest. Now try the best. It is the Crazy Coop with 2 locations. The original at 7199 Highway 64 between Appling and Kirby Whitten, and the Crazy Coop Express at 1315 Ridgeway off Poplar. When we come back, Jerry Palm joins us. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Add a little fun to your lunch break. Join Johnny Radio for Sports 56 Happy Hour from 11 to 1 every weekday on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
When the weather gets better, I found a new place to really soak it in. It's the patio at the Commissary in Collierville. We all love the delicious Memphis-style barbecues. You can begin your barbecue fest with some great appetizers like the cheese plate or the tamales or the barbecue nachos. Oh, those smoked chicken wings, they're terrific too. Then dig into the ribs or the barbecue shoulder. Get it chopped or pulled on a sandwich. A big sandwich, or you can get it on a plate. You've got choice, and and you've got choice in places. Don't forget the Germantown commissary as well. Comes with beans and slaw, deviled eggs they're famous for. And Brad, you can even order by the pound, a 6-pack or an 8-pack or even a 12-pack. The Boss Man salad, the chicken plate, the barbecue shrimp. There's something for everybody, and those great desserts. The best icebox lemon pie anywhere. Or my favorite, the banana pudding. Check out the patio, TVs for sports, and music on the weekends. You love the commissary.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone. I went through it a while back. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The patented key ingredient is something called Testofen, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again. At work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text JUDGE to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Text JUDGE to 321-321. That's JUDGE to 321-321.
Products and statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or illness.
Roofs, and more roofs. Chris Price here with Metro Builders. Is your roof leaking? Do you have mold stains on the ceiling of your home or business? Is your carrier denying your claim or offering a repair simply because they don't have enough documentation? You need a contractor that performs work for insurance claims for policyholders each and every day, and Metro Builders is here to assist. Call Metro Builders. At Metro Builders, we provide free estimates, consultation, and claim repairs. Metro Builders' process of arriving, inspecting, diagnosing problems, and estimating is second to none, commercial and residential. Our team of Hague-certified technicians are standing by to assist you with providing estimates and photos to your carrier to document your loss. All you owe is what your policy states. No large fees on top of the final scope. We use high-grade materials and are certified by companies like Atlas, CertainTeed, Owens Corning, and Mulehide with labor warranties up to 50 years on all of our jobs. Metro Builders provides roof repairs across the Mid-South. Call Metro Builders to schedule your inspection free. Call me. 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717.
Join Malco Theaters December 30th for the ultimate Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl experience as Ole Miss takes on Penn State. Buy your tickets today at Malco.com. It's the perfect holiday gift for your football-loving family and friends.
Sports 56 traffic brought to you by Curfew.
Enjoy the ultimate dining experience at Curfew. Wednesday is Wing Wednesday with sweet fire chicken wings and fries for just $18 and $2 off draft beers. Curfew American Tavern Craft Cocktails, your new destination. 164 Union Avenue, main floor of the Canopy Hotel.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. So far, so good as far as serious accidents out here. A couple of EMS calls getting some attention right now. It looks good as we check it out live on 55 up through South Haven, coming up from DeSoto County in and through South Memphis. It's been really quiet so far on I-40 coming in from Fayette County. However, a little bit of radar out here up and down certain sections of I-40 there at the Fayette County, Shelby County line. Be careful. Hey, Weimer's Jewelry, located 7525 Highway 64. They are your Valentine's Day headquarters. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers.
Diamonds are forever. Woo!
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Halfway home on this Wednesday edition of Sports 56 Mornings as we welcome you back. By the way, if you missed our interview with Tigers football coach Ryan Silverfield from hour number 1, it'll be up on the website, sportsmemphis.com, under featured audio. And, of course, you can listen to the podcast of each of our shows anytime you like. We break it down hourly. So the Andy Borman interview, Memphis Tigers assistant coach, just happened here in the 8 o'clock hour, as will our interview about to happen with Jerry Palm.
It's time for Sports 56 Mornings Weekly Chat with Jerry Palm, college football and basketball writer and bracketologist for CBSSports.com. Here are Greg, Eli, and Jerry.
Final appearance by Jerry in 2023 as we welcome in JP from CBS Sports, CBSSports.com. You can follow him on Twitter at JP Palm CBS. Hope you had a lovely Christmas with your family, Jerry.
Yeah, I did. How about you?
Yeah, not too bad. So how many is that in the fam? What do you got? How many total?
Oh, I have 4 kids. So immediate family is 6 of us. Me and Vicky and 4 kids.
So pretty busy, I would say, on Monday morning, huh?
Yeah.
To say the least.
Plus, usually my dad lives nearby, his partner, so we're so we see them. It's I've got a fair number of people around.
And it's always, of course, during the busiest times for us in the world of sports and sports media with everything that's going on in college football, basketball as well. We'll talk about that in a second. But today, we wrap up a tradition here on the show. I know there's a lot of people that have said, "Why are you stopping this?" But I guess all good things come to an end. You want to end when you're on the top. You don't want to wait until it bottoms out. And that's 5 favorite things. Jerry has led us off each and every week with our 5 favorite things topic. And this week, again, to wrap it up, folks, if you haven't heard, the topic is your 5 favorite things about you, about your life. Want to learn more about you. I know a lot about JP, but there's probably things I don't know that he's going to shed some light on right now. So, Jerry, what are the 5 things, your favorite things about Jerry Palm's life?
Yeah, it's funny because you're probably going to know most of these things.
Okay.
Okay, well, number 5 is my job. I have a unique job. And by unique, I mean nobody else does it. Mm-hmm. And I created it myself. I didn't set out to create a job when I set out to do what I did, but it turned out that way. And but I'm fortunate to have a job that combines all of my various passions into one thing. Number 4, like to travel. Vicki and I will travel often. I get to travel a lot for work, but also just like to go places just to go places. And we'd probably rather spend time traveling than doing just about anything else with our spare time. Number 3, as you know, the fact that I am a Purdue guy, Purdue, almost every good thing is linked, or in my life is linked to Purdue in some way, and largely the band. So being at Purdue, being in the band at Purdue, and those 2 things have shaped my life in ways I could have never imagined. Mm-hmm. Number 2, best thing in my life is Vicky, my wife of now 3 years and a little bit. Second time around for both of us has turned out to be
the charm,
terrific,
right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And you guys have met her. And then, of course, number 1 is my kids. 4 of them. The oldest is out and working as a programmer in Indianapolis. They're all computer geeks like me. The youngest is a senior in high school. She just got accepted to Harvard.
Oh my gosh! Wow!
I know.
Congratulations.
That's what I'm telling you. It's like I feel like a reasonably intelligent person, and my kids just blow me away. All 4. I walk into a room with those 4, and all of a sudden I'm the idiot. So, which is good and bad, But anyways, I've been blessed with kids that are intelligent, want to do something with their lives, well behaved. Anyways,
that is great. That is a great list. And I knew a lot of that, but my gosh, that's a fantastic list. Thanks for sharing that with us.
I thought for sure you would still work Queen into the list somehow. I thought for sure Queen would fit.
Honorable mention, Freddie Mercury.
Honorable mention, yeah.
Adam Lambert replacing Freddie. I thought somehow Queen would still make the list.
Well, the fact that they're still around in some form is pretty cool. But yeah, no.
There you go. All right, so the bowl season, I don't know. To me, I don't know why it's hitting me differently this year. I don't. Maybe it's all the transfer guys that are hitting the portal before they actually play in the games. I've only watched a smidge here and there of a couple of games. Now I'm ready to get into it now. 2 feet down on the ground and eyes on the TV and ready to watch a bunch of games. But I don't know why it's hit me a little bit differently. And Eli and I were debating this earlier, that I think the division will only become greater between these regular bowl games and what will become a 12-team playoff and more bowl games involved in those playoff games. and I think the division grows. So where are you right now with just where we are in college football, and especially right now in the bowl season?
Yeah, I think the transfer portal, more than anything, has people complained about players opting out. But until the transfer portal became a thing of just, a few years ago, it's now at a point where, like if you want to bet on bowl games, you are truly a degenerate. That's like betting on preseason baseball.
But there are a lot of people that do it, and that's why they
there's a lot of degenerates.
They make good programming.
I know. Yeah, and look, these games aren't going away because ESPN wants to program, and they televise the vast majority of the games, and they own a dozen or so of the games.
Right.
So they're not going away, but there's definitely going to be a transition when we get into the playoffs. For one thing, with 4 home games in the first round of the playoff, it basically means that you're now taking 8 teams out of the bowl structure. So we're not going to be able to sustain 41 bowl games next year. Also, the Pac-12 is going away, and you've got 7 bowls out there, I think, that have got Pac-12 connections that need to, reconfigure how where they're getting their teams. So there'll be changes there. But some of these bowls are just going to have to go away because you can't have. Otherwise you're going to start getting to a point where you're putting 4 and 8 teams in bowl games. You don't have enough that are 5 and 7. We had 3 teams this year in bowls that would not have been eligible otherwise. That's the most we've had in a while. We had once they put that rule in where you could do that. We had some the first 2 years. We had like 5 the first year, but then we had like 4 years in a row with nothing. And then the pandemic hit, and you can't even count what happened for 2 years there. But the last couple of years we've had that again, and now if we take 4 bowls away, that probably goes away. I don't think they're going to take 4 bowls away. I think they'll try and figure out a way to keep most, if not all, of those games.
Yeah, I don't think, again, because it goes back to ESPN and the programming. Now, technically, you're only taking 4 teams out of the bowl structure, the 4 teams that lose those games, because the other 4 advance on and play in a bowl game.
You're right. Yeah, you're right. It's 4.
So they're only taking 4. But yeah, it's just it's the whole thing of the toothpaste out of the tube, whatever. Like it is what it is. I don't see us going the other direction because there's too many people making too much money off of it all.
Well, is that true though? I mean, there must be. Right?
The networks are. We know that.
Yeah,
I would imagine.
It must be that. I mean, people will watch football. So
Yes.
I don't know what the ratings are like for these bowl games. That's just not something I pay a lot of attention to. I would for the big games, but not the others.
It's better than anything else they could put on for this time of year.
It's great for the networks, and it's great for their sponsors if they feel they're getting bang for their buck. What it's not great for, and I think it's going to get worse, is some of these bowl games and attendance. And they depend on attendance. Obviously, they got the contracts with the network, so they're still making money. But the attendance is just going to continue to drop in a lot of these bowl games.
Yeah, it's hard. Well, you just don't know what you're going to get. I mean, the transfer portal has taken away so many players. I mean, even just this week, 2 days ago, Tate Rodemaker opts out of goes into the transfer portal, and it's like
they're missing 19 players, Jerry. 19 Florida State.
If you bet on Florida State in that game, then
you want your money back. You want your bet back.
Gone. Yeah,
right.
It's like I actually picked Florida State in that game last week, and I had to write the editor and say, "Can I change my mind? I didn't realize I had to play quarterback in that game." When I made that
George is a 17.5-point favorite. That's a perfect example right there. That is the Orange Bowl. This isn't like Mama Tessito's Italian porridge bowl.
But you had
right?
the Ohio State starting quarterback opted out of their game. The guy who started for them all year is opted out of their game. Is already transferred to Syracuse. Backup quarterback at Texas transferred. Backup quarterback at one of the other playoff teams. I said Alabama. There's a backup quarterback at Alabama that's transferring. Although that one's weird.
Yeah, he went to play lacrosse again. Yeah,
he's going to go play lacrosse at Notre Dame.
Right.
Tommy Rees is transferring back to Notre Dame to play lacrosse.
No, not
so
Rees. Not Tommy Rees. That was the
Buckner.
coach. Yeah, Buckner.
Sorry, that's the coach. Yeah, I'm sorry. You're right. Not him, of course. But anyways, but yeah, that's funny. Go back. I guess he was a nationally recruited lacrosse player.
Yes,
So,
but the point is, and we were talking with Coach Silverfield, who was on earlier, I said, if they just had a moratorium on any movement in the portal until after the bowl games, a lot of these guys would stay with their team and play. And there's going to be the dudes that are getting ready for the NFL that are going to leave no matter what. But
you know
all
what,
the other
though?
guys would
Here's the
stay.
thing. Not necessarily. The people who want to transfer, but the portal's not open yet, may still opt out of play.
Why?
Because they don't want to get hurt for their next team.
I can understand not getting hurt for like the NFL or the combine and all that, but injuries happen. It's the NFL. I mean, it's football, for goodness sake. So, is a team not going to take a guy because he sprained his ankle in a game? I don't know.
We're not talking about sprained ankle.
I know, but how often do we have career-ending injuries like recently
Well,
in college football?
I mean, I don't know. It's not career-ending.
You don't, but
could
again,
sit
if a
here-
guy's got a big NIL deal that he knows is waiting for him and it be jeopardized by getting hurt, why
Yep.
play a meaningless bowl game? Like that's in the end, it all comes down to why play the meaningless bowl game.
Well,
what they need. The only way you're going to be able to really correct it is if they can somehow put some big financial reward on playing in the bowl games.
May get hurt are guys that are not used to playing, and all of a sudden they have to play in these bowl games. I mean, Texas A&M's got 55 players total, is what I've read. 55 total.
Yeah.
That's again,
Yeah,
football.
you can barely field a team.
I mean,
with
yeah,
55.
I understand it's 11 on each side. I do the
No,
math
it's
for folks
22
out
on
there,
each
but that's
side.
great. No, but you and I are on the same page. But there's people probably thinking, well, it's 55, Greg. No, it's usually over 100 players you have on your team.
Yeah,
scholarship
for
and then
home games.
walk-ons. Yes,
For home games, maybe your travel
and bowl
squad is
games,
gonna
and
be
they all
closer
come.
to-
They all go to the bowl games because my son was a walk-on and he went to bowl games. So
Oh, yeah? Okay.
So you're going to have a lot of people there, and now you don't. So your numbers are down. That puts more stress on some of those players that are having to play, or players that maybe are playing less than 100%.
Florida State got 17 kids in the portal.
Florida State right now is out 19 players.
They got a lot of
injuries.
A lot of guys are opting to because they got a lot of guys going pro.
Okay, so with that said, we just talked about that Orange Bowl, and there's going to be people when Georgia drubs Florida State, they're going to go, "See, told you that Florida State didn't belong." Shut up.
Yeah.
It's like save it.
Well,
I don't even want to hear it.
I say this every year, and it's more true every year. Bowl games are the stupidest way to judge teams and conferences.
Yes.
The absolute stupidest, because nobody is playing in a bowl game with the roster that got them to the bowl game.
Right.
Nobody.
Right.
Unless you're in the playoff. The playoff is fine. I mean, it's the playoff. But everything else, including the big games, are glorified exhibitions that I love them. I don't mean that as a disparaging comment, but you can't judge these teams by these games.
Yes.
You can't judge these conferences by these games. They're all these random matchups. I mean, it's stupid to make sweeping judgments about anything that happens in a bowl game. Just enjoy the game, enjoy the trip if you're going, and leave it at that.
Yeah, other than the playoff games, and I'll get your thoughts on that here in our final moments. Every person we've had on as a guest, I ask them, like, which games are you interested in? It's always Ole Miss, Penn State, right? And the other one's Missouri and Ohio State. Because we haven't heard a lot about opt-outs out of those teams. But then you look at all the other games. And
Ohio State without their starting quarterback.
Well, that's true. Ohio State is without their starting quarterback. You're right about that. So there is an opt-out there. Like Maryland plays Auburn this Saturday in the Music City Bowl in Nashville, and they don't have their quarterback now. So, I mean, I couldn't even care less about that game. But really, to be honest with you, Ole Miss, Penn State, still Missouri, Ohio State, despite the quarterback leaving, they're the two that seem to get the recognition. Are those the two, other than the playoff games, that you're most interested in, or is there another one?
No, those two. Yeah. I was obviously kind of fired up for the Orange Bowl until, Florida State decided to field the band. And I like their band, but I don't like them against Georgia. So it's...
Does Liberty, Oregon do anything for you in the Fiesta?
No, it doesn't even do anything for Oregon. They're kind of ticked about that. But,
I'm sure.
I mean, Liberty or whoever emerged from the group of five was always going to that game. And they weren't going to send Oregon to Atlanta, or Florida wasn't an option. They were always going to be in the Cotton or the Fiesta, and they weren't going to send a Big Ten team out there when they've got a Western team to put there. So that's just how it worked. And somebody had to play Liberty, and that team was not going to be happy about it. In this case, it's Oregon.
All right, who are your picks for the...
And the other option other than Liberty is death. You either get Liberty or death.
A little Patrick Henry action. All right, so we will not see you until after the national semis, but we will talk to you next week before the championship game. So give us your semi-winners.
I picked Alabama to win the whole thing, so I'm going with Alabama. And then, let's see, Washington.
You're
Alabama,
going Washington. Okay.
Yep.
All right, JP. Listen, well, we already did the Merry Christmas part. Happy New Year. Enjoy that with your family. We will talk to you in 2024. CBS Sports, CBSSports.com, the one and only Jerry Palm. He joins us each and every week. You can follow him on Twitter at JPPalmCBS. Thank you, JP.
All right, thanks.
Take care. We need to take a break. We'll come back, wrap up hour number 2. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
You already know you can listen to Sports 56 anywhere with the Sports 56 app or at sports56whbq.com. But you can also watch us daily with live video of all of our shows on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch.
When you think about insurance and you want great value without sacrificing great service, I want you to think one place: the Eflin Insurance and the entire Eflin Insurance team. Matt and his group of professionals will access 10 leading companies to find the right home and auto program that fits your budget and your absolute needs. The Eflin Insurance team, the number 386-GER, 386-4777.
Hi, this is Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roof Services. If you need a new roof for your home or business, we hope to hear from you and will work hard to earn your business. We are experts and certified in residential and commercial roofing, siding, and gutter installation. I have been serving the Memphis area for over 20 years, and now with 2 of my sons working with me, we plan to be here for years to come. So if you need a roof, please give us a call. On a personal note, what a great time it is to be a Memphis sports fan. With the Grizzlies and the Redbirds and 901 FC, not to mention Tigers football and basketball, it's going to be a fun year. Thanks to Coach Silverfield and Coach Hardaway and their staffs for their dedication to the student and athletes, the University of Memphis, the City of Memphis, and us fans. Five Ash Roof Services, a proud partner of the Memphis Tigers and the official roofer of the Tigers home team. Five Ash Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Five Ash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Make your next grill your last with the Big Green Egg at East Memphis Ace. Smoke, bake, roast, sear, and grill, all with a lifetime warranty. Ready to cook in only 15 minutes with cook temperatures below 200, above 700, and anywhere in between. Change your at-home cooking experience for life with our unmatched, authentic wood-fired grill flavor that has our customers raving. Get your Big Green Egg and all our accessories at East Memphis Ace on the corner of South White Station and Quince Road.
It's time for the Parade in Pasadena. Tradition meets college football action in one epic bowl game. And with DraftKings Sportsbook, you can make every play count. New customers can score $150 instantly in bonus bets just for betting $5 on college football. Download the app now. The code is HEARD. New customers can score $150 instantly in bonus bets for betting just $5 on college football. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook, the code is HEARD, and the crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit 1-800-GAMBLER.net. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas. 21 plus. Age varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. See dkng.com/football for eligibility and deposit restrictions, terms, and responsible gaming resources.
Moving is stressful, but Black Tie Moving can take the worry out of the process. Whether you're moving across town or across country, moving your home or your office, your personal moving concierge from Black Tie Moving will work with you to design a plan that perfectly fits your budget and needs. And they're available 24/7 to answer any questions you have. Give Black Tie Moving a call at 901-316-6196 or go to blacktiemoving.com/Memphis to get your personal, no obligation quote from the moving experts at Black Tie Moving.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers.
Don't you just love it?
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
You know, it's interesting. We talk about these bowl games and we go, well, that team doesn't care. That team doesn't care. But when the players get between the lines, they care. They go in there and they play hard. But overall, I do understand when a team's down 19 players like Florida State is, and it's tough to get motivated when you were left out of the playoff and you feel you belong, and we certainly feel they belong. But it's funny, and maybe it's a bias I have because it's our bowl game. I always think the teams playing in the AutoZone Liberty Bowl game are always up for this game. Like, it always seems to be, in my opinion, a really good matchup. Like, I look at Iowa State and I go, I don't think they believe they should be in like a bigger bowl. They didn't have like a great year, but they didn't have a bad year where they're disappointed. I don't know any of those guys, but I'm just like kind of guessing on that. And it's like every year with the matchup in the AutoZone Liberty Bowl game, I always think it's a great matchup that two teams really care about winning. And with Memphis playing a Big 12 team, I'm sure they're motivated. We just had Ryan Silverfield on in hour one telling us that. So again, maybe it's bias on my part, but I always think it's not only a good matchup, interesting matchup, but teams that actually care to be there as opposed to a number of other teams around the country who don't care to be in their bowl games.
Well, most of these games that are going on now, like, again, the guys that are playing absolutely care. Like, they're there. And they don't have a bunch of guys going to the NFL, so they don't have those opt-out guys. I mean, it's most of their team is playing in the game, and it's a chance to play another football game for them. So,
yeah.
They
and
want to
like I said,
win.
when you get between the lines, right, you play. You play to win the football game when you're there. You're not going to, go half. You know what? You're going to go full throttle to try to win.
The Texas says, pretty sure they open the portal when they do so that transfers can get enrolled in their new school for the new semester. Yeah, that's part of, again, that's why it is. That's why part of the early signing period as well. A lot of these kids now coming out of high school even will graduate and they'll early enroll for the spring semester so they can be there for spring football, which is an important part. So, yeah, again, that's why I don't believe anything's changing. Like, these things aren't going to be, there's not going to be any vast change. They might tinker with it, alter a little bit, but it's not going to solve the issues of people not playing in bowl games, all of that stuff.
What I'm saying is the bowl games, the national semifinal games are on the 1st of January. The national championship game's on the 8th of January. School does not start at any university the first week of January. So you delay, right? Enrollment. They still are enrolled for the spring. They're just not there until after the bowl games. And it doesn't matter if they're there during the bowl week because they're not really a part of that team, that actual team that's playing in that game. Players that are early signees for the University of Memphis are not going to be playing in the game on Friday. So really, from a calendar standpoint, it doesn't screw up their enrollment for the spring semester.
It's not about enrollment. They got to be able to get into the portal, talk to the teams, be recruited, and go and sign.
It's a quick process. There's several weeks before schools start classes again. That's when it should be used, in my opinion. After January 1st, for those 2-3 weeks leading up to the start of school. I mean, gosh, we have basketball players for Memphis that join a month after school starts. We're not even talking about that. We're talking about just using that period. I mean, people have been able to transfer forever, okay? They had to pay a penalty. They weren't able to play immediately, but they've been able to transfer. So it's happened before without this transfer portal in December. There was never a transfer portal, and kids were transferring whenever. They just had to sit out a year. Well, now you don't have to, and there's this portal. Well, just move the portal. Move it. Move it till after January 1st, and I think it doesn't cure all the ills, but I think it will cure a lot of them, in my opinion.
I always do find it funny. Back in the day, before the transfer portal and the whole one-time transfer rule, the whole thing was college players, the college athletes are screwed. Coaches can leave whenever they want. They can go wherever they want, whenever they want. And the players are held to their school and they got to sit out. We got to open this up. We got to let players be able to move too, and if coaches can do it. Now it's like, man, we got to quit letting these players move so easily. The public outcry used to be all this money the universities are making. The players got to get some of it. We got to start getting the players some money. Now, NIL's ruining college sports.
Yeah, I have no problems with players moving and being able to play immediately. But
again,
you
do have a problem with it. You have a problem with the portal when the portal is. It's you have a problem with the free movement.
No, what you're referring to me on that? All I'm saying is to move the window 3 weeks. That's all I'm saying. I'm for NIL. I'm for players playing immediately. I'm for players jumping into the portal. I'm for all of that. I'm just saying you're screwing up these teams and the bowl games, while coaches are also trying to recruit and put a game plan together for a game, which, again, we're supposed to look at it as important, but it's meaningless. All that stuff could be fixed in some way. Not all the answers cured, not all the answers found, rather, but a lot of those ills can be cured if they just moved the calendar, in my opinion. Hey, if you're ready for a new Silverado, All-Star Chevy in Olive Branch has financing down to 1.9 or up to $10,000. Plus, make no payment for 90 days. You can't beat that. Your good credit deserves it. You can check out all the red tag deals they have on the Tahoes, the Equinox, the Trailblazers when you head on down to Olive Branch. Families love the Traverse with the third row seating, which is great for trips anywhere. Military, teachers, college students, healthcare workers, you get an extra $500 bonus. If you want a certified pre-owned Chevy or any pre-owned vehicle, All-Star's loaded up. If they don't have it on the lot, just ask Jeff. He'll find it for you. Kevin and Jeff and all the great folks at All-Star Chevrolet want to wish you a happy new year. Remember, it's not South Haven, not Mount Moriah, not Bartlett or Collierville. It's got to be Olive Branch. Find new roads to All-Star Chevy today or go to allstarautogroup.com. By the way, I don't know if we mentioned this, but the interim defensive coordinator for the Memphis Tigers in the AutoZone Liberty Bowl game will be linebackers coach Jordan Hankins. There was 2 or 3 that they could have that Ryan could have chosen. He chose Jordan Hankins to be the interim defensive coordinator. We will take a timeout, come back with hour 3. We're talking Grizzlies and another great win for the Grizz last night in New Orleans. We'll talk with DeMichael Cole, and then 5 favorite things to wrap it up. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
They're taking care of business in Memphis right on the river with Grind City Brewing and all of their great products. Look, this was a dream come true for a father and son duo. And if you have not been to that brewery right on the river, just to the north of downtown, you're really missing something special. And now you can't miss their products. Wherever you go, you see a brand new label. It's clean, it's beautiful, it's distinctive. You'll know Grind City Brewing, and of course you know their products like Poppy's Pills, that great Pilsner, or Tiger Tail, that very creative craft malt liquor. There's the new Thaddeus Amber Lager. That is absolutely a great light beer. There's the India Pale called Godhopper. It's outstanding. And then there's the Belga, the Belgian-style wheat ale. They keep bringing hits at Grind City Brewing.
If you look at the website for 117 Prime, Memphis' premier downtown dining destination, you'll see the phrase sophisticated steakhouse serving elevated entrees. That just about sums up 117 Prime. If you want to have a truly special dining experience, then you can't beat sophisticated steakhouse serving elevated entrees. There are plenty of places in Memphis to get a steak, but there's only one place that pairs sophisticated with elevated entrees, and that's 117 Prime. If it's time for you or someone in your life to celebrate in a way that makes you feel sophisticated and elevated, you can't do better than 117 Prime.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the name brands at up to 95% off. That's right, get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but for 95% less. It's the same medication, still prescribed by a licensed medical provider, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
All 650 acquisition fees. Sportage R723 5498 MSRP 28940. Sorrento PG 424 MSRP 33010. Telluride RG 462822 MSRP 38705. Includes all rebates and incentives. Must finance through Hyundai. Excludes tax title and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 1/2/2024 with approved credit. Dealer stock only. Hey, my man Jeff Allen, what's going on for the holidays over at Gossett Kia South Mount Moriah?
It's the season of giving back at Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah, and I've got your holiday presents right here.
Tell us about it, Jeff.
Award-winning SUV 2024 Kia Sportage LX, $299 a month, $34.99 due at signing. 2023 Kia Sorrento LX, perfect for your road trips, $329 a month. And the 2024 Kia Telluride LX, we Gossett at $459 a month, all 36-month lease.
Well, you can't get much better than that, Jeff. And all Kias come with the 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty.
So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah. And from all of us at Gossett Kia South on Mount Moriah, happy holidays.
Roofs, roofs, and more roofs. Chris Price here with Metro Builders. Is your roof leaking? Do you have mold stains on the ceiling of your home or business? Is your carrier denying your claim or offering a repair simply because they don't have enough documentation? You need a contractor that performs work for insurance claims for policyholders each and every day, and Metro Builders is here to assist. Call Metro Builders. At Metro Builders, we provide free estimates, consultation, and claim repairs. Metro Builders' process of arriving, inspecting, diagnosing problems, and estimating is second to none, commercial and residential. Our team of Hague-certified technicians are standing by to assist you with providing estimates and photos to your carrier to document your loss. All you owe is what your policy states. No large fees on top of the final scope. We use high-grade materials and are certified by companies like Atlas, CertainTeed, Owens Corning, and Mulehide with labor warranties up to 50 years on all of our jobs. Metro Builders provides roof repairs across the Mid-South. Call Metro Builders to schedule your inspection free. Call me. 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717.
Listen each and every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. and join Ottawild Presbyterian Church for worship. Ottawild is a PCUSA church located in Midtown Memphis.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. Still looks good out here right now on all the major inbound routes, like 385 Biltmore's Parkway coming out of Collierville all the way up to 240. It still looks good in Midtown, especially I-40 over here around Chelsea. I-40 not bad at the 101 connector there, passing Watkins, still holding up Austin P Highway southbound towards the interstate. 24/7 reliable crane and rigging services right here in Memphis. It's Tomahawk Crane and Rigging. They're online at tomahawkcrane.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Acura of Memphis.
Power is everything.
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everyone. 9:06 the time. Final hour for us today here on this Wednesday edition of Sports 56 Mornings. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, Zach Boyd with you from the Family Leisure Studios. Family Leisure, 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. It's where family and fun come together. I'll tell you who is a good family, a strong family, and they have come together. That's the Grizzlies family. 4 straight wins since Ja's return, including last night's big win in New Orleans, 116-115 in overtime. We opened the show with it. We now start hour 3 talking about it with DeMichael Cole.
2 watches, that's 12. Come through and slam on you. I'm in the air. Boys all said and done.
It's time to talk some Grizzlies basketball. Joining Greg and Eli is DeMichael Cole, Grizzlies beat writer for the Commercial Appeal. Here's DeMichael with Greg and Eli.
Here's DeMichael Cole from the Commercial Appeal, Grizzlies beat writer. You can follow him on Twitter at DeMichaelC. DeMichael, how are you?
Man, I'm great, Greg. Things are starting to kind of settle in a little bit now, right?
They are.
into the Ja Morant time frame. So we're starting to settle in, and things are going well.
Well, belated Merry Christmas to you and a early Happy New Year. It's always great to talk with you. Do you believe, now that's two big wins, come from behind wins over New Orleans since Ja returned, but obviously there is a history between these two organizations and these two cities, and it's fairly close proximity. Do you believe that they are rivals, that maybe this is the biggest rival for the Grizzlies, the Pelicans?
I don't know if they're the biggest, but they definitely have that division foe, type mentality. But I think a consistent Grizzlies rival will probably develop over the next 5 years. It's probably be someone in that division, whether it's the Rockets with Dylan Brooks, they haven't beaten them yet, or if it's the Wembanyama-led Spurs or the Dallas Mavs. We talk a lot about the Luka Ja thing. Let's see how that kind of unfolds over the next few years with potential playoff runs and things like that. So I think it's going to be someone in that division for sure, and the Pelicans are the other team in that division. I mean, that Southwest division is really going to be stacked over the next 5 to 10 years. But you can make an argument for it being the Pelicans. You got the factors with CJ and Zion and those guys over there, the Valanciunas trade, just a lot of tied-in factors between these two franchises. Of course, Trey Murphy and Zaire Williams is another one. There are a lot of connections, but I want to see a little bit more before I say, oh, yeah, that's the team. That's the one team that stands out to me.
Well, the Pelicans have to be thinking, what the hell do we have to do to beat them? They felt like they had the first game won, they lose it, and last night they absolutely should have won that game, and yet the Grizzlies come back and beat them again. They have to be just scratching their heads how the hell do we finish that team off?
Yeah, I mean, from what I've seen, the Pelicans have had a problem closing out games, not just against the Grizzlies, but against last year. That's kind of been one of their Achilles heels this season. C.J. McCollum, Brandon Ingram, those guys just holding the ball very late into the shot clock and just throwing up a, last-second shot and putting themselves in tough positions. But at the end of the day, the Grizzlies kind of walked them down both times. We're talking about 14-point deficit in the fourth quarter. In his last game, Marcus Smart knocks down a couple of three-pointers. Even he goes to the bench. New rotation of guys come in, and they keep it going. So it's a combination of both. I think the Grizzlies have done a good job of playing with more pace. The defense has been really good, which is funny, guys, because you remember early in the season we kept talking about how the Grizzlies are going to fix this defense, and it played. I'm at this point, I'm tired of having this conversation through the first week of the season because it plays out the same way every year. We have a 4 or 5 year sample size now where, okay, they look a little rough for a couple weeks, and now they're back to looking like an elite defense. I mean, they slowed down, the Atlanta Hawks high-powered offense. They slowed down the Pacers high-powered offense. And this Pelicans team was just stifled for most of this game, turnovers, and the Grizzlies had their fair share of too. But for Memphis to kind of fight back into that game with the turnover problems that they were having against, a team like the Pelican that has, 3 potential, all-star caliber players was big.
All right, so moving forward, 4 straight wins since Ja's return. We know how tough these two roadies will be coming up against the Nuggets tomorrow and then the Clippers and then back home to take on Sacramento. We were looking at the standings earlier, talking about the fact that they're only 4.5 games out of that last spot, that last play-in spot, which is the 10th spot in the playoffs in the Western Conference. Golden State currently owns that. And there's about 50 games to go. So it's worked out pretty well, DeMichael. I know you and I were looking at, can they win 8 in the first 25 without Ja, and they only won the 6. But they've come out guns a-blazing, and as I said, I wanted to see how they did those first 4, 5, 6 games with Ja back in the lineup, and right now it looks like they're clicking on cylinders. Look, they're going to lose games. There's no question about it. But I think it gives everybody at least hope. Not only the team themselves, they have hope. They've probably never lost hope. But it gives the fan base a lot of hope that it is still possible to salvage this season.
Yeah, the first 4 games, have showed a completely different outlook. But they built a big hole. It's every time I get to that point. They're 10-19 right now. I think about 4.5 games out, for a play-in spot. But even with the schedule that they played so far, it hasn't been easy. And we're talking Pelicans, middle of the pack Western Conference team. Pacers, middle of the pack Eastern Conference team. The Hawks, high-powered offense. So really good opponents. But it's about to even go up another level. Nuggets, Clippers, Kings. Those are three teams that'll be mad if they don't win a championship this year.
Good point.
It's about to go. I don't think any of the teams that we just said, maybe the Pelicans, but other teams are not championship, quality right now. So the level of competition is about to go up. And as we've said in the past, the Grizzlies will need to win a decent amount of these games. So typically you see Nuggets, Clippers, and Kings. You say, oh, they just need to win one of those. But they might need to go 2 out of 3, during this stretch. They've beaten the Clippers before, but the Clippers are playing completely different now. I think that was one of the first games with James Harden. The Nuggets, 12-2 at home. Always tough to beat them, up there. Then you get the Kings, at home at FedEx Forum. After that, you get the Spurs and Raptors. But before you get to those 2 games, you got a 3-game stretch against top-tier Western Conference teams. But it's these stretches, right? There are going to be many more of these. After they play the Spurs and Raptors, guess what? You got to go to L.A., you got to go to Phoenix, and you got to go to Dallas. It's not a lot of room to just sit back and say, oh, yeah, we can circle all these games during this stretch on this NBA schedule. The Western Conference is deep. But guess what? In order for the Grizzlies to get where they want to get, they're going to have to, win a lot of those games.
Do you have any theories, and I don't know how much you've maybe talked to Taylor, if has been brought up, but why the second quarters are so bad? And they were bad before Ja, and they've actually gotten worse since Ja's been back, which is weird. But why they struggle so much in second quarters?
Because that's where the lack of depth is showcased the most. That's where missing considerably on first-round picks like Jake LaRavia and, Zaire Williams not being, the typical top 10 pick that they may have envisioned him to be from a production standpoint. And, David Roddy even, having, up and down performances so far this season. That's where those things show up the most. In the first quarter, you can hide it, you can mask it a little bit. You throw your starting lineup out there, you got Ja, Jaren, Dez all on the floor together. But when that second quarter comes, one of those guys has to go to the bench. A couple of those guys have to go to the bench. Sometimes Jaren gets in foul trouble. And there are stretches where either Ja or Dez, or in the past, it was Dez or Jaren, or if Jaren's in foul trouble, Dez and Jaren go to the bench. And the Grizzlies just close their eyes for a couple minutes and say, please, let's just get through this stretch, maybe even or close to even until our guys get back. That's kind of the way they're playing right now. I remember a couple years ago when they won 56 games, when the bench came in, you were expecting the league to get expanded.
Yep, exactly.
When it was Thomas, Anthony Melton, Kyle Anderson, and that whole crew, and Brandon Clark, of course. But it's a little bit different right now. You don't have much, even in this last game, right? I think the bench was terrific defensively, especially Vince Williams and Xavier Tillman Sr. But from a scoring standpoint, you still didn't get a lot from the bench. I think David Roddy led the way with 8 points, and David Roddy wasn't even in the rotation the last 2 games. So that just goes to the guy who led the bench in scoring the last game wasn't even in the rotation in the last couple games. Santi Aldama is another guy who's been terrific, and his streak of 22 games consecutively made with a three-pointer was snapped. Only took 2 shots and only played 9 minutes because of the flow of the game. I guess Taylor Jenkins kind of phased him out of the rotation. But that's what it comes down to me, Eli. In the simplest form, that second quarter is where the lack of depth shows the most. Some people say, well, why not, late in the third, early in the fourth? Well, you typically shorten the rotation in the second half when you get to those points. Ja comes back in, a little bit early in the fourth quarter instead of, late as he does in the quarter, and Desmond Bain and so forth. So you don't see it as much in the second half because they shorten the rotation, a little bit more. But in the first half, it's notable because you want to get those guys rest. Jaren Jackson Jr. sometimes dealing with the foul trouble. Basically, the Grizzlies, as good as they've been, they're still showcasing top-heavy tendencies, and the second quarter is the most obvious time when you have to, where it's kind of exposed.
Yeah, look, and to add to that, obviously, when you don't have Brandon Clark, you don't have Luke Kennard, you don't have your normal rotation players, then you're going deep to the bench, and deep on this bench is just not a lot of talent, and that's where it's been exposed. Okay, so I'm looking at last night, and you mentioned Roddy, you had a couple of DNPs. He gets some action, but Conchar was out with an illness. now you're going to get Kennard back soon. So, and you're going to get Derrick Rose back soon, right? And this isn't even mentioning Brandon Clark maybe at the end of the year. Mm-hmm. Who's out of the rotation? Because obviously Marcus Smart returned. They put him right in the starting lineup. Marcus Smart was sensational in that second half, as you know, yesterday. But do you think he's just going to mix and match depending on the opponent, or is there going to be kind of a set rotation? And Kennard will be in the rotation. Will Rose be in the rotation? How do you see it?
Yeah, I think there's going to be some game flow things that'll dictate what happens, but I think it's pretty kind of straightforward how this is going to play out. If you look at the bench right now, you say, who are the producers off the bench? You got Xavier Tillman Sr. You're going to need his rebounder. You're going to need his defense versatility. Him and Biombo make a nice combination so far defensively. Vince Williams, we know what he brings to the table. That's 7 guys, along with the 5 starters that you know you have. Santi Aldama, again, struggled last night, but you can pretty much count him in as a rotation option. That's 8 right there. So you got a couple more spots. We know Luke Kennard's going to be in there. That gets you to 9. Taylor Jenkins probably going to play 9 guys, probably going to play 10 guys. I think he's going to lead towards 10, but it's going to be the same way that we've seen it for kind of, most of the last couple years. It's really 9.5, where in the first half, that 10th guy plays, a decent role. And then in the second half, they kind of, again, like we just said, shorten the rotation a little bit, and it's probably going to be closer to 9 guys unless that 10th guy is having a big first half.
Is that 10th guy Rose? Is it going to be Rose?
I think it's Derrick Rose, specifically because of the pairings that we see. Now, if you talk, the pairings is what matters the most, because I could see it being John Conchar as well, but I say Derrick Rose specifically because we just talked about the bench, right? Bench scoring is an automatic weakness right now. They don't have a lot of firepower off the bench. Derrick Rose is another guy, along with Luke Kennard, Santi. That gives you 3 guys capable of giving you, double-digit points. I think you need, that from the bench. So with Derrick Rose, we talk about the pairings, right? As we saw when the Grizzlies starters were mixed in and they were staggered, I always felt that 2 of the big 4, between Marcus Smart, John Morant, Desmond Bane, Jaren Jackson Jr., 2 of those guys would be in the game together at pretty much all stretches of the game. And yesterday, it was Desmond Bane and Jaren Jackson Jr. playing together, and it was Ja playing with Marcus Smart into the second quarter or early in the fourth quarter. So with Desmond Bane and Jaren Jackson Jr., as good as those 2 play together and as good as they have played together, as of late, because they didn't play much time together early in the season, Derrick Rose going in that lineup not only gives you another ball handler, which they need in those lineup when they go to that lineup, because you got Ja and Marcus in the other pair. You put Derrick Rose in that lineup with those guys, let him play in the first half, figure it out. He can play off the ball, make some spot-up 3-pointers. Dez can play well off of him as well. We've seen those 2 play well together. I think you put him in that lineup combination with Dez and Jaren early in the second quarter, potentially late in the third quarter as well. You're cooking. You got offensive options in the game at all times.
There will come a point, and I don't know if he's been active for every game. I assume he has been, but they have to make at some point a decision on Vince. The decision will be he's got to get a regular contract with Vince Williams. Do you expect them just to ride that out to that 50-game mark and assume that? I think that'll be close to the trade deadline, that they'll be able to make a trade and clear a roster spot for him.
Yeah, I think the trade, this forces the idea that the Grizzlies have to make a trade deadline move. But you guys, the part about this that no one is really talking about. We think it's as simple as, the Grizzlies give him a contract and, we move on. But Vince Williams has played so well. He's not going to get a Kenneth Lofton Jr. contract. It's not just going to be 4 years, $6 million. Oh, yeah, the next year is non-guaranteed. He has played himself into a decent NBA contract. And not something, where the money is just, crazy. Mm-hmm. But if you look at John Conchar's contract, $6 million a year, next 3 years, or whatever the case may be, why shouldn't Vince Williams make more? I don't think you can make that argument you can make that argument, especially if you're, representing Vince Williams, that, hey, he surpassed John Conchar in the rotation. He does some of the same similar things, and he's made a bigger impact on the team this season. So the point is, the longer you wait, the higher the price tag potentially becomes. But at the same time, the Grizzlies need to wait. As you said, the trade deadline would be the perfect time, because you wouldn't have to release a player and again, as we talked about the bottom of the roster 1,000 times, the one hard thing about the bottom of the Grizzlies roster is if you were to waive any of those guys, you're going to be eating money not just this season, but into next season. That was the difference with Kenneth Lofton Jr. having a non-guaranteed deal next season. The rest of those guys, you'd be eating money going into next season, unless it's someone who's on a 1-year contract like a Xavier Tillman or potentially a Derrick Rose, but they're in the rotation, so it's a little bit different. But with that being said, I think Vince Williams is looking at potentially around the trade deadline where we see, maybe they ship out a piece or two, open up a roster spot for him, and then give him that contract.
So in order, who's likely to be dealt? In order, who would be the best odds of being dealt for would it be Conchar?
I think he's not actually.
No. Okay. All right. Who?
I think it's Jake LaRavia, number one.
But who wants him? Who wants Jake LaRavia?
No, I don't think it's about what other teams want in terms of the players. I think the Grizzlies will have to attach draft compensation in order for a team to kind of take on these guys.
Okay.
So you're talking about a team like, the Detroit Pistons or maybe the Utah Jazz or someone out there who will say, hey, yeah, we'll take him and, throw a flyer on there and see if he, becomes something. But we want that draft pick, more than anything. So I think there are some teams out there that say, yeah, we'll take Jake LaRavia if you send us a protected first, or if you will take Zion
I hope
Williams.
to God's not a first-round pick. You get rid of a first-round pick in LaRavia and a first-round pick, even though it's protected, so you can make room to give Vince Williams a deal because you guys screwed up and didn't give him the opportunity last year with the team.
Yeah.
I mean, that's bad right there.
They got to cover up the mistake at this point. Like,
yes.
It's clear. So they're gonna have to do something to kind of like just put a Band-Aid over that wound.
With Vince, could they sign him just for the rest of this season? This would probably be from his side. Say, we just want to sign for the rest of this season, and then he would be an unrestricted free agent if he could do that, right?
Yeah, he would.
So his guys could say, listen, we want to play out the rest of this year, and then we'll see what happens. Exactly.
That's why I said the time, if you wanted to just go ahead and do this thing, it was the first 2 or 3 games when it was clear that, okay, this guy belongs. Because now the games are stacking up, and the league is noticing. I've been talking to people around the league, and people are pinpointing Vince Williams when they go into the scouting report, on the Grizzlies at this point. So he's making a considerable impact. His name is starting to get out there.
Boy, I know you don't hit on all. You don't hit on all of them. I'm talking about personnel, decision makers with organizations, but to have that guy be on that team and never really give him that opportunity, he had to show this stuff in practice, you would think. I mean, it seemed like they had to go in the pecking order, right? They had Zaires first because he was the highest of the picks, then LaRavia, then Roddy, and they had that guy sitting there the whole entire time. It kind of makes you mad, doesn't it, a little bit?
I tell you what, I actually, when I was down in Atlanta, me and Vince sat down for about 10, 15 minutes, and we talked deep about this. So I have a story that's going to come out, more on this tomorrow morning. Yeah, and I talked to Taylor Jenkins, and I asked him that same question. Basically, what was it that finally led you to believing that Vince Williams belongs? And even from his teammates, Desmond Bain was like, I knew he was a dog, but I didn't know he was this type of defender. So I think there is some element of surprise there. But, I mean, it's clear now that he ain't leaving the rotation.
Well, DeMichael also has a sit-down. So he had a sit-down with Derrick Rose, has a story up. You got to check that out, folks, and then get ready for this story that'll drop tomorrow about Vince Williams. Always great work from DeMichael Cole, Grizzlies beat writer for the Commercial Appeal, who you can hear each and every Wednesday right here on Sports 56 Mornings. Make sure to follow him on Twitter at DeMichaelC. Great work, DeMichael. Great segment as always. We appreciate it.
All right, thanks, guys. Appreciate you.
Talk to you in the new year. Good stuff from DeMichael Cole. Good stuff at Corky's. You're looking for lunch, for dinner, any place that you're heading out to today and you just want to turn around and stop somewhere real quick for a nice lunch, it's Corky's. Or bring home dinner for the family. It's Corky's. Dine in, carry out, drive through, no contact delivery. You can also have any of the services delivered to your home or office, and they have specialized in catering. It is not too late, right? You got New Year's Eve coming up. I'm sure a lot of you will be hosting New Year's Eve parties. You're looking for some good eats to go along with that fine drink. Well, how about Corky's? That's a great option for you. They'll start you out as low as just $8.99 per person. They've been serving up that delicious slow-smoked barbecue for 40 years, ladies and gentlemen. When you head on over there for lunch or dinner, you can add a third of a rack of ribs for just $6.99 when you purchase an entree. Maybe the award-winning catfish plate if you want to go a little bit different than the Q. Party pack starting at just $7.49. They're located at Poplar Avenue in Memphis, Poplar Avenue in Collierville, Germantown Parkway in Cordova, and Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Also, you can reserve their private party room. You got a birthday party, anniversary, something coming up in 2024, give them a call for the Cordova and Olive Branch private party room at those locations. Corky's Ribs and Barbecue, they're open for lunch and for dinner 7 days a week. Coming up next, 5 favorite things, the finale. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Is your wife asking you to stop eating junk food? Well, we have you covered at Humdinger's. It's quick and it's healthy, and most important, it tastes amazing. With many choices from salmon salad to rainbow trout and grilled asparagus. Come visit us for lunch at Humdinger's, 6300 Poplar Avenue. So good, Coach Penny eats with us weekly. Don't forget, Humdinger's offers full-service catering for weddings, social events, or your corporate lunches. You can call 901-260-8292 to find out more.
The holidays are a time for coming together, wherever together may be. Here's to getting there safely. The exceptional vehicles at Mercedes-Benz Holiday Love Celebration can help you do just that. This holiday season, find incredible offers on the vehicles that you're bound to love, like the EQE SUV, equipped with 10-inch rear axle steering and automatic lane change. This all-electric vehicle is as safe as it is spacious. Or the EQB, with an optional third row, room up to 7. You can bring everyone and go anywhere for the holidays. And the unforgettable C-Class, designed with driver-oriented screen and digital light. It's the sedan that puts you first. Still, there's more to love, whether it's the spacious EQS SUV or the beautiful E-Class sedan. There's a vehicle for everybody at your authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer. Find an exclusive offer on a vehicle you'll adore at Mercedes-Benz Holiday Love Celebration, going on now through January 2nd. With exceptional cars and incredible offers, what's not to love? Learn more at mbusa.com/special offers.
5-Ash Roofing, it's what we do. Roofing and siding, gutters too. We're the pros you can trust to get it done right. Call on us. 5-Ash Roofing, the name to know. 5-Ash Roofing, the only way to go. 5-Ash Roofing, it's what we do. 5-Ash Roofing.
Is that not the corniest thing you've ever heard? Can you believe I paid good money for that silly jingle? Well, the experts say make it memorable, and I think I got my money's worth. 5-Ash Roof Services, proud partner of the Memphis Tigers and the official roofer of the Tigers home team. 5-Ash Roofing, 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
5-Ash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
It's our season of giving back at Gossett Kia on the Pike, and we've got the perfect holiday gift for you. Hit the road with 41 MPG Highway 2023 Kia Forte LXS, $239 a month, $27.99 due at signing. Get road-ready SUV Seat 7 2023 Kia Sorento LX, $319 a month, $34.99 due at signing. And 8-passenger seating in your new 2024 Kia Telluride LX, $459 a month, $34.99 due at signing, all 36-month lease. Plus, you'll get peace of mind with Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Ask for Bobby J. He's ready to put you in a new Kia today. Gossett Kia, 1900 Covington Pike, or online, KiaCovingtonPike.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 650 acquisition fee, Forte RE 699,094, MSRP 21,385, Sorrento PG 242,710, MSRP 33,010, Telluride RG 462, 2822, MSRP 38,705, includes all rebates and incentives, must finance through Hyundai, excludes tax title license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 1/2/2024, dealer stock only.
At Jason's Deli, when you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises, just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and quick quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it, because you're not just taking a bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets with vegan and gluten-free options available. Convenience and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com, so whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli with locations at Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, Poplar and Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Jason's Deli. It's wholesome food and no surprises.
Listen each and every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. and join Ottawild Presbyterian Church for worship. Ottawild is a PCUSA church located in Midtown Memphis.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Acura of Memphis.
Witness the power.
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
I've been roaming around, always looking down at all I see.
Welcome back, everyone. 9:33 the time. Final half hour for us today here on this Wednesday edition of Sports 56 Mornings. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, and Zach Boyd with you. It is time now for 5 favorite things.
This is Gordon speaking. And I just love a number that's the same as my finger. You see, I've got 5 fingers on this hand. That's 5.
5. Now let's stomp 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I'm in. High five.
I got 5 on it.
5 favorite things.
It is bittersweet. It is our final 5 favorite things ever, not just here in 2023, but we are retiring this while it's hot and on the top of the charts. And we want to thank everybody with from your thoughts and your kind words about this segment. I didn't know that it touched so many people. Ray says, thanks to you and Eli for doing this segment for so many years, especially the music favorites. Brought back so many memories of my favorite songs. Hope this segment is like a boxer who comes out of retirement several times. This comes from good old Uncle Sam. Man, you got us all through the COVID with this segment. I love to grab the podcast and listen with my wife. Great conversation around the fire pit. Thanks for the memories. And many, many others. We appreciate that. Today, the topic is about you. Your 5 favorite things about your life, about you, about your life, accomplishments. If you haven't sent us a list and you'd like to, and we'd love to read all these lists, 901-360-8255. That's the Sports 56 listener line. You can text in at 901-365 or 360-8255. Or you can message us with your lists on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, or on the website sportsmemphis.com. Nice comments, Eli.
Yes, absolutely. Appreciate it. Love that.
So again, your 5 favorite things about your life. Zach, you've lived on this earth a lot less than the two of us, so let's begin with you. Then we'll go with Savoy, and then we'll go with the old man, me, and then we'll go to our listeners. You ready? You rock and rolling? What do we know?
I am ready.
What do we not know about Zach? We're about to find out. Okay, Zach.
There's still a lot that you don't know about me, but these are my 5 favorite.
Okay.
Honorable mention, my degree from U of M. I have to throw that in there.
Sure.
Absolutely.
Surprised it's an honorable
number
mention.
5. For those the OG listeners, I am a deacon at my church, so that is number 5.
Nice.
Number 4, I am the second of 5 siblings. So there's 4 more of us out here. Number 3, which I think a lot of people know or should know, I'm a vegetarian. Number 2, I play an instrument. I don't know if you guys are aware. I play an instrument, and I'm very musically inclined.
What is the instrument you play?
I played the baritone for 5 years, and I played the trombone by ear.
How about that?
Yeah.
Good for you.
Trombone.
Yeah.
So musically
Trombone
inclined.
shorty.
You know, I could hold my own, just a little bit, but I can't play it long, so not too long.
Okay.
I have literally zero musical ability of any kind. So I'm envious of you.
You never had the little recorders that they used to give us in elementary school or anything?
I can't dance, I can't sing, I can't play an instrument. I have literally no. When it comes to music, I have nothing. Nothing whatsoever.
Wasn't that a Genesis song? I can't dance. I can't. Not to interrupt, but my father was a band leader. He was in the big bands. He taught every instrument. He played every instrument. And here I was as a kid. I wanted nothing to do with music. Only sports. Sure. Only sports. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, because, by the way, shout out to my former band teacher, Mr. Earl, out in Briarcrest.
Mr. Earl?
Yeah, so he taught me. He taught myself and my siblings music. I know how to transpose music. I know how to, I guess, read sheet
Look
music
at
and stuff
you.
like that. So,
okay, very nice.
Yeah, so it was shout out to him.
There was a day I used to be able to recognize a treble clef, but I have no idea what it looks like anymore.
It's like a dollar sign. You know,
yeah, that's what bass clefs and treble clefs. I remember those things from school. I remember terms, but I have no idea how to do with them.
I can't believe you even know that. That's pretty amazing. All right, so that's only number 2 on your list. What's
That's number
one?
2. Number 1, I am a Marvel fan. Like, I like to keep up with the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the TV shows that they're starting to incorporate with it. So if you guys want to have a deep conversation about superheroes and the Marvel Universe, you just hit my Twitter up.
So the creation of all that stuff, of course, it goes back to the comic books and all that. But when they started to make the movies and things like that, that just like brightened your life. That was big.
Yes, I'm not a big comic book person. I keep up with the comic books through the movies, and so that kind of keeps me connected in a way. But yeah, I'm all the way in. I'm like 10 toes in.
All right.
Isn't there? Now I'm trying to think of my musical days, my music classes that I took. The order of the notes along thing. Isn't there like a mnemonic device to remember them?
It is. I can't think of it.
I can't think of what it is. I can remember all the mnemonic devices from my past.
Right,
I remember, but I don't remember. I don't remember the musical one.
There is. I can't think of the acronym that they use for it.
Mnemonic devices.
Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la?
No, it was letters. What are the
I know
letters
they use
that go
the
down?
alphabets. So
somebody's musically inclined out there that will text in at 360-8255. Stop showing off. Eli says he knows nothing about music. He's throwing out terms I've never even heard of. All right, my friend.
You've never heard of a treble clef and a bass clef?
No, I thought you meant a cleft lip or whatever.
I know. No. Again, I took music. I mean, I went. Everybody took music class. Like when I was in grade school, you had to take music and choir and all that stuff.
The only music class I took was Jane Ashworth's class. She had hair down to her butt, and she was pretty, and she sang on one of those old guitars and sang "Leaving on a Jet Plane." I remember singing along. That was it. That's what I remember from music class. Yeah, my dad, I could have learned right there if I wanted to.
Yeah.
He had all that stuff.
I always think I wish I had learned to play him. I wanted to play the guitar or the drums, but I probably wouldn't have been able to do it because I have no musical ability.
All right, your list.
All right. Number 5, the city of Memphis. I know people like to complain about this city and the issues it has. Every city has issues. But the fact that I've found my way here completely blind many years ago, I love it here. I love the city. I love the people. I love the weather. There's a lot to love about the city despite a lot of the issues that we have.
I agree with that, yeah.
Number 4, golf. The fact that I've discovered golf, became pretty good at it. Still not nearly as good as many, but pretty darn good at it. Get an opportunity to play it a lot. That's number 4. Number 3, the work that I do, that we get to do. Talking about sports for a living is a pretty damn good deal. Let's be honest. It's a pretty good way to make a living talking about sports for a few hours a day, plus the play-by-play stuff. All of that stuff just kind of put together. It's certainly is become the fact that I've been able to make a career out of sports is something that I always wanted to do, and I'm very happy that I've been able to do that. Number 2, family. From family here with my wife and stepson, but also the fact that I still have two living parents, despite the fact that they're in their upper 80s, and I could go see them, all of that stuff. Still got brothers and sisters, even though a couple have passed, still got plenty of those. So that is number 2. And then number 1, the fact that I'll knock on wood. Is this real wood?
No.
I think it's close enough.
Okay.
Health. I am a person that doesn't get sick. I don't get injured generally. Like, I have lived
amazing.
A healthy life. I've had one broken bone in my whole life.
Wow.
I've barely had anything ever wrong with me, and I don't get sick. And again, knock on wood, but I just don't get sick. And so no back issues, none of that stuff. So the playing golf, the other things, I'm never limited by
Goes
being
hand in
sick.
hand.
So it works out very well for me. But that is number 1. I am very lucky in that area, and I know it because I know a lot of people who don't have that same luck.
Yeah, that's a good list. And I didn't do anything with the health. Now I am not even close to being.
I would hope that
like
you would.
your health. What's that?
Do anything with health.
No, I mean,
because you are not healthy.
No, I'm not. Well, I'm not unhealthy, but I'm just. I get colds and things like that. When you never seem to get colds. I've also had probably 3 or 4 operations. So I've been under the knife before. But yeah, that's. I didn't go in that direction. I do echo your sentiments about Memphis and the people of Memphis is why I stayed here. I could have left. I had opportunities to leave, but the kids were growing up here. They weren't born here, but they were growing up here. So I stayed in Memphis, and after a while, it's like, I'm not leaving. But here's my list. Number 5 is my upbringing in childhood. In South Jersey, I lost my dad when I was 12, but having a close-knit family, and we went through some hard times and all that, but just my friends, and I didn't go down the wrong path. My head was on straight. My upbringing, childhood, I think it shaped the person I am today. Number 4, and this is a little cocky, but all the awards and accolades in recognition of my work. I've been very successful as winning Emmys and Murrow Awards and things of that nature, and I'm very proud of that, even though it collects dust in a corner somewhere in my house because my wife won't put it on the wall. Number 3 is my degree from the University of Maryland. Number 2 is my career, as you mentioned, in sports broadcasting, to be able to do the things that we get to do. I'm not, I haven't envied, but I always have been amazed by people who can do things with their hands, can build homes, can build computers, can do these things. I couldn't do any of that stuff, but I'm lucky I'm not, putting tar up on a roof in 110-degree weather. I'm lucky that I'm able to do broadcasting.
I've done that. It's not fun.
Yeah, it's not fun whatsoever, but there's got to be people that do that, and they do it well. And then number 1 is absolutely my family, starting with my wife, my kids, my grandchildren, everyone, my immediate family that, again, I talked about growing up. My dad died, dad died when I was young. My mother died when I first got to Memphis, and one of my brothers. So not a lot of people left from that part of the family, but my family created with my wife is fantastic. They're all here in Memphis, and another reason why we stay here in Memphis. So, yeah, my family is number 1. All right, let's get to some of these lists.
Tiger Steve says... big Memphis Tiger and Green Bay Packer fan. See, being being a Cub fan, mainly, that's one of my least favorite things about my life.
Yeah, I didn't put about being a sports fan, even though I could easily see that.
Number 4, Corvette lover and owner. Number 3, big Metallica and heavy metal fan. Number 2, traveling to different cities to compete in pinball tournaments.
Wow.
And number 1, competition barbecue cooking.
I remember him talking about pinball tournaments before.
Oh, yeah. He and his son are huge in the pinball world.
He's a pinball wizard.
There it is. John. Number 5, the musicians I met at the Grand Ole Opry.
Cool.
Number 4, Sports 56 entertained me for over 25 years.
Wow, thank you.
Number 3, the people I have met when I was in lawn care. Number 2, time I spent with my dad on the horse farm. And number 1, my friends and family. Thank you very much. Yes. The treble clef notes are the spaces are face, F-A-C-E, And the other one is Every Good Boy Does Fine.
Yeah.
EGDB or EGBDF. That was the one I couldn't remember.
Yeah.
Every Good Boy Does Fine. Thank you, Texter.
You know a lot more than you thought you did about music. Come on now.
I don't know what any of that means. I just know those are things on there. I don't know what that means for anything. I just know that's how you remembered them.
Yeah.
But I don't know what a difference between a treble clef and a bass clef is. I just know those are the two things.
I never even heard of that until you just brought it up. All right.
Let's see here. Wayne, true Memphis fan. Number 4, lifetime of work, now retired. Number 3, home paid for. That's certainly something to be on that list. Number 2, close family and friends. Number 1, my 2 great sons.
Excellent.
Raider Corey. Number 5, meeting and forming relationships and friendships with most of the Sports 56 crew for close to 30 years. Number 4, traveling and visiting other stadiums that my teams participate in.
Mm-hmm.
Number 3, myself, my wife, and our 2 daughters have all earned college degrees from the University of Memphis. 2, my marriage of over 26 years. And number 1, thanking God for being relatively healthy and stress-free.
It's a strong list right there. Our friend John Neal, courage through cancer, and you would imagine that has a theme to it. My faith, my family, my friends, courage through cancer, and the cancer warriors that inspire me daily.
Bobby, number 5, my job. Number 4, my friends. Number 3, my kids. Number 2, my grandson. And number 1, my wife.
I had to put them all into one group because I couldn't separate them or I'd get in trouble. Eric says, number 5, the St. Louis Cardinals. Number 4, watching Ja Morant. Number 3, watching the Tigers win in hoops. Number 2, watching one son play his guitar, one son playing golf tournaments. He plays college golf. And number 1, going on date nights with his wife. Been married for 23 years, and he's still on his honeymoon. That's fantastic.
Steve, let's see. So I'm a native Memphian. I got into music, was a member of a touring bluegrass act, recording albums and nationally known with albums on YouTube.
Wow.
Was a scholarship punter and a tournament billiard winner.
Jeez. Some skills.
How about that?
That's some skills.
Gotta like that.
James says, number 5, my Tigers. Number 4, my friends. Number 3, the rest of my family. 2, my wife. 1, my faith.
Carolyn has honorable mention to Sports 56.
Thank you.
Number 5, the move to Memphis in 1998 from Indiana. Number 4, still a Chicago Bulls fan from the Jordan years. Number 3, classic rock and or oldies music. Number 2, football. And number 1, Grizzlies and Tigers fan.
Our buddy Frank Murtaugh from the Daily Memphian. Not the Daily Memphian, from the Flyer. What am I saying? I've known Frank for years and years. Number 5, my chance, the platform to share stories and thoughts. He's an unbelievable writer. Of course, he's an author as well and written books. Number 4, my friends near and far. Number 3, my family near and far, here and gone. Number 2, my daughters. And number 1, his wife, Sharon. He says he's loved this feature of the broadcast. Thank you very much, Frank.
That, by the way, Kevin in Nashville was the one who sent in the music stuff there. Yeah, the treble clef spaces are face, F-A-C-E, and the lines are every good boy does fine. So thank you very much to Kevin in Nashville for helping us out here this morning, helping me out. That would have driven me crazy trying to figure that out. And I'm mad that I can't remember every good boy does fine.
Is that it?
That is, Andrew has graduated from CBU while starting on the baseball team for 4 years.
Nice.
Friends and family. Number 3, surviving brain surgery.
Wow.
To remove a brain tumor.
Oh,
wow.
my God.
Number 2, 10 years later, my wife survived brain surgery to remove a brain tumor. Holy cow.
Smokes.
Number 1, my wife and 2 daughters. Thankful for the life we have. Man, oh man, that is certainly fantastic stuff to hear. That, but man, oh man, to have to go through that sucks. But man, for both of you to have to do that, and both of you to come out and be happily living together, that is absolutely awesome. Fleet Feet, the place to go to get all your running gear. You want to make sure you get those shoes that are just right for you. We'll go see the folks at Fleet Feet in the Laurelwood Shopping Center in East Memphis, out in Collierville, Poplar, Houston, Levy, next door to Huey's. Either one of those two locations, they take a look at the way you run, the way you walk, and they'll get you fitted with shoes that are just right for you. A lot of folks can be making those New Year's resolutions to get out there, exercise, run, walk. Well, first, you got to get the gear. And to do that, go see the folks at Fleet Feet. Also, you can get involved with things they've got going on, some of their group runs and things like that. Or if you got questions about how just to get started in running, well, they can help you with that because they're all runners. So go see them at either of the two locations. You can also find them online and find out about things they've got going on by going to fleetfeetmemphis.com or find them on social media at Fleet Feet.
Thanks again for everybody who participated over the years with 5 favorite things we appreciated. When we come back, we'll wrap it up in honor for one John Morant. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
I know we say it all the time. Bell Tavern, Memphis' perfect downtown bar, is not a sports bar. It's a bar that happens to have sports on the high-def TVs. You know what a great bar Bell Tavern is. You know how great the signature cocktails are. You know how amazing the food is. And all that is what makes Bell Tavern such a great bar. But what sports we have on those TVs this month? If you love college basketball, the NFL, the Grizzlies, and college football, well, for this month, you can pretend Bell Tavern is a sports bar. A very civilized sports bar.
Did you know nearly 40% of men under 40 and over 75% of men over the age of 40 experience sexual performance concerns? At the Memphis Men's Clinic, their experienced physician performs a comprehensive evaluation that determines which specific issues may interfere with your sexual performance. These issues can vary and range from anxiety to medical issues, low testosterone, or erectile dysfunction. The Memphis Men's Clinic has evaluated hundreds of men of all ages over the years and reestablished a normal sexual life. The Memphis Men's Clinic will work aggressively to resolve issues and allow you to restore your sexual health and overall well-being. That's the Memphis way. If you're 20 years old or 90 years old, come and get cared for the Memphis way. Treatment that's based on your specific needs after a professional clinical evaluation by their experienced board-certified physician. Call the Memphis Men's Clinic today at 901-443-0475 or visit memphismensclinic.com.
You or someone you know or care about has dealt with a difficult divorce. When facing divorce, you need the attorneys at Rice Law. Nick and Larry Rice lead the firm with 3 generations and 7 decades of experience. Located in Memphis, serving the entire state of Tennessee and North Mississippi. Rice Law is who you need to call. Simple or difficult divorce, they know how to handle it. Call Rice Law at 901-526-6701, or for more information, visit them at aboutdivorce.com. That's aboutdivorce.com.
You ready to end the year with some money in your pocket? We got it covered at Gossett Mitsubishi's Mitsubishi Motors year-end sales event. Get to the Pike for the award-winning 2023 Mitsubishi Outlander PHEV. 420 total range MPGE, $299 a month. Get ready for your road trip in the 2024 Mitsubishi Outlander Sport. Buy for $27,000 or just $399 a month. And cool has never been cooler than in a 2024 Mitsubishi Eclipse Cross. We Gossett at $30,700 or $499 a month. And no worries with Mitsubishi's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. So get to Gossett Mitsubishi today at 1870 Covington Pike. Gift wrapping available. You want it, we Gossett. Shop online anytime at memphismitsubishi.com.
If you want it, we Gossett at Gossett Motor Cars.
PHEV PZ06203 MSRP 44,355 Sport RU 001136 MSRP 28,000 Eclipse RZO 12051 MSRP 31,700 includes all rebates and incentives PF 695 excludes tax title and license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month. Dealer stock only.
For over 8 decades, America's farmers have counted on the Little Red Tractor from Case IH, the Farmall, to help them make short work of their demanding chores. Well, Mid-South Ag can show you they aren't just for farms anymore. With horsepower ranging from 30 to 105, plus an army of attachments, they can tackle every chore on your to-do list, from hauling and mowing to loading and towing and then some. Stop by Mid-South Ag Equipment or call 662-890-3141 to find a Case IH Farmall that's right for you.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Acura of Memphis.
Okay, this car looks great wrapped around you,
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
The body's a temple, that's why we're taught.
Acura Memphis is on Ridgeway at 385 and online at AcuraMemphis.com. Again, the end of the year is a great time to buy a car. You can usually get some great deals at the end of the year. And, of course, you can always deal with great people and get great deals with the folks at Acura of Memphis. So go see them Ridgeway at 385 and online at AcuraOfMemphis.com.
Ja Morant was named the Western Conference Player of the Week. His first week back, December 18th through the 24th, averaging 28 points, 9 assists, 5.7 rebounds, and a 3-0 week. His third Player of the Week award of his career. And then, of course, he opens up week number 2 by scoring 31, adding 7 assists, and last night's 116-115 win over the Pelicans in overtime. Oh, by the way, I guess it's official. Joe Milton, who we knew was gone at Tennessee, says goodbye to Tennessee in a social media letter. He's with the team in Orlando, but according to reports, Nico Suave is going to get the start in their game against Iowa.
I don't know why you wouldn't. I should have been starting probably for the last couple of games, but certainly I don't have any clue why you wouldn't be starting him now.
That'll do it for us today. If you missed any of our great interviews, head back and check out the website, sportsmemphis.com, and the Sports 56 Mornings podcast. Ryan Silverfield was terrific in previewing the AutoZone Liberty Bowl game. Check that out. Tigers assistant coach Andy Borman as well. We talked some Tigers hoops, then Jerry Palm and DeMichael Cole. We thank all our guests today on the program. Waldo and Friends on Sports 56 is coming up next. We're back bright and early tomorrow starting at 7 a.m. For Eli Savoy and for Zach Boyd, I'm Greg Gaston. Have a great day, everyone.